but Shitzini was really, and really need to see Albertini is sure positive. Albertini to my right. Gosh, dude, I don't know why it's doing that.
For the Cougars, number 25, Xavier Espinoza.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, and I think the third time's a charm. I think we do have the live stream running now. Is having a little glitch with our live stream. Let us know if it's not, and we'll keep working on it. Indians lead 16-6 center with the return as Espinoza gets away again off to the right side, and Kennedy misses him, still on his feet. Now Carlson and a host of Indians knock him down, and it looks like Indians, it's going to be 1st and 10 for center from the 30-yard line as
when
Wilson Smith in on that tackle.
When Espinoza gets that ball and gets some steam going, he's a tough guy to bring down. Large kid, runs hard.
Apologize to everybody trying to get the live stream. I think we got it up and running now. Please let us know if it's not working right. All right, I think we're up and running. Split back formation for center. 1st and 10 from their own 30. Espinoza under center, takes a snap, handoff off the right-hand side to the running back. He's pushed forward as he takes a host of Indians forward as the line of scrimmage, doing a good job pushing that piles forward. And it's going to be a good 5-yard gain on 1st down. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 for center from their own 35-yard line.
Good hard run again. Their backfield, some big, strong kids, so Indians are going to have to wrap up and hold their ground here.
2nd down and 5, call it 4, from the 35-yard line. I formation this time. Espinoza under center. Takes the snap. Hands it to the running back to the left-hand side. Hit at the line of scrimmage and brought down. No gain on the play for center.
Good to see some gang tackling there. 4 Indians right on top of that run and brought him down. That's what it's going to take with these big running backs.
Sabodia on the tackle. 3rd down and 4 for center from their own 35-yard line. Under center, split back formation this time for center. Espinoza under center, 3rd down and 5. Call it 5. He's going to keep it off the right side, bottled up at the line of scrimmage. The Indians bring him down, no gain on the play. Looked like a little confusion in the backfield that time, Seth.
Yeah, he was hopping around trying to scamper to find something. It looked like either he turned the wrong way or something happened, because it didn't look like whatever he thought was going to happen did. Tried to make something out of nothing, was not able to do it. Indians held strong on 3rd down. Great to see.
For everybody trying to get the live stream, go to 1055.net, click on the St. Paul Indian logo. It may still say Hartford, but it's going to say game streaming now. Just click on it. Back in punt formation is Espinoza back at his own 26-yard line, and it's going to be blown dead with 2:51 mark. It's going to be a timeout center. So with that timeout, we'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Don't forget you can buy a raffle ticket for an autographed football. OU Heisman Trophy winners Jason White, Steve Owens, and Billy Sims. Donation is $5 each or $5 to $20. All funds benefit USD 505 Honor Flight.
Back to pass across the middle. Picked off by, oh, shoot. Center went for it on 4th down, threw it across the middle, and Colin Carlson picks that football off, brings it back to the 30-yard line of center. Boy, I'm not sure who Espinoza was throwing it to, but it went right to Colin Carlson.
It looked like their up back just took straight off through the middle of the pile, and Carlson just followed him perfectly. I think he could tell right away it was a fake punt, that he wasn't going to try to cover it. And, big gamble by center here early in the game. I was kind of thinking surely they won't try something here at midfield. They sure did, and it did not work out. Indians brought it back to about the line of scrimmage where the punt was supposed to take place.
1st and 10 for the Indians at the center, 32-yard line, I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. Hand off to, he's going to roll to his right, keeps it. Albertini looking for somebody open. He's going to pull it down and run it now. Behind Carlson, cuts back to the center, trips over Carlson's feet as Carlson trying to lead block for him as Albertini stepped on the back of his feet as he cut back towards the center of the field. It's going to be a first down for Albertini and the Indians down to the 16-yard line of center.
Nice little play on first down. Anthony was back there. It looked like it was supposed to be a pass for all I could tell, and he just kind of held it, let things unfold, and found some good running room there up the right side.
Haney comes to the sideline to give Albertini a break to get the play. Kenny Haney steps in every once in a while as the Indians give a different look, and it looks like as Haney comes in every once in a while, plays quarterback and puts Albertini in the backfield, but Haney brings the play in. Albertini's going to be in the pistol. Slot right is Carlson. Slot to his left. It's going to be an offsides on center, and it's a good thing it was because that snap went 3 feet over the top of Albertini's head. I believe this could be offsides.
No, it looks like he's about to walk off a false start.
He is going to walk off a false start as jumping the snap count was the linebacker for center. Man, he went through the line of scrimmage quickly, and honestly, it's a good thing the Indians had whatever it was. If it was a false start or offsides, either way, it would have been. It's actually going to be a positive for the Indians because that football went clear back to almost midfield. 1:58 left to go in the first. Indians lead 16-6. 2 receivers wide to the left is Haney and Kennedy. Single back set behind Albertini is Carlson. Albertini's going to keep it. It's got some room down the sideline. Cuts back towards the middle. There's a horse collar.
Yeah, no call that.
There's the flag at the 8-yard line. Boy, Albertini is getting picked on bad here tonight. 2 terrible face masks. Drugged down by the face mask. That one by the back. I don't think he ever had his shoulder pads, but he dang sure had his hand right up in that cup with that call a horse collar.
Yeah, you can tell. I think a lot of that comes out of frustration. Albertini is so hard to bring down. These guys are just trying to grab anything they can get a hold of. He can make one little juke step and make you feel like you lost your shoes, so you can kind of see that frustration. That's the 3rd personal foul penalty trying to tackle Albertini, so that kind of shows you what this defense is having to deal with and what defenses have had to deal with all year against the Indians.
And they waved the flag off, and honestly, I suppose that's the right play because
it wasn't his pads.
It had the back of his jersey and not the pads, but either way, that's right where they usually call it. I don't know what difference it makes whether you have the shoulder pads or you have the backside of the neck, and that's what they had. But it'll be 2nd down and 2. There's a blitz again, and that's another flag. Is the Indians are going to have to change the snap count because number 22, Riffle, is jumping the snap count terrible bad, and both times he's done it, it's made Bradshaw snap the football over the head of Albertini. So the Indians are going to have to make an adjustment with that. This time it is offsides against center. It'll be a 1st and goal for the Indians inside their own 5.
Yeah, if he ends up timing that just right and there's no penalty, that's going to be a fumble. It's going to be something bad, like you said, Dan.
Indians now need to start changing that snap count up a lot. It's making Bradshaw pretty nervous as he's going through the A gap right to the left side of Bradshaw, and when he snaps it both times, it's went over the head of Albertini. 1st and goal for the Indians. In the pistol is Albertini. Good hard count. That time it's going to be another offsides. There you go. Changing that snap count, make them keep them honest. That's the best way to keep that defense honest. But that time you could tell Albertini with a good hard bark. And offsides on center. So half the distance to the goal. Still be 1st and goal now from about the 2.5-yard line.
This is where the Indians had that false start penalty on the last drive. They need to play good, sound football, punch it in here from 2, which they ought to have no trouble doing with the backfield they've got.
Well, thank everybody for joining us on the live stream. Sorry for the little glitch. We had a little trouble with our Verizon internet box getting up and running, but it's up and running good now. So in the pistols, Albertini, 1st down and goal, keeps it right at the middle spot and walks into the end zone off an excellent blocking by the line of scrimmage. And the Indians lead 22-6 with 41 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. He just took that snap, waited for a hole to develop, and he just walked into the end zone.
He literally walked in on that last step. It was such a big hole. Great job by the offensive line there. Love to see it, especially whenever, it's even more impressive to me whenever you're on the goal line like that. The defense knows what's coming, and they still were able to block that well where Anthony could just walk right in. Adam.
It'll be extra point pending here. Indians lead 22-6, 41 seconds left to go here in the first. I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. Albertini pitches it to Kennedy off the right-hand side, cuts back towards the middle, spins, and he's going to be short of the goal line. Extra point is no good. Indians lead 22-6, 41 seconds left to go in the first. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to a beautiful night at Miles Field here in St. Paul, Kansas, where the Indians lead 22-6 over Center. Indians with 3 great drives put together on the first 3 offensive possessions, and Center had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Is there 6 points that's on the board? Murillo has the ball teed up for the Indians. First glitch in the armor for the Indians was they missed that extra point on the pitch to Kennedy around the right-hand side. Espinoza back deep for Center. Murillo with the ball teed up. Squib kick down the middle of the field. High hop, taking it to 23 by the up back. Riffle. Adam Albertini smokes him down to the ground. Hit hard right in the gut. Good form tackle by Albertini. Brings him down at the 23.5-yard line.
Excellent tackle by Albertini. They don't want to see that kickoff return again, and you can tell on our kickoffs now, they kicked the first one deep that was run back, and they've now squibbed it twice, giving up some pretty good field position. So you're taking the gamble of giving up the field position, but making sure they don't get a long return. So so far it's paid off for the Indians. 36 seconds left to go in the first. Indians lead 22-6. Center first and 10 from their own 23.5-yard line. Espinoza up under center, split back formation, 1 to his left, 1 to his right. Here's the snap. It's going to be pitched around the left-hand side, trying to get to the outside. Number 22 has some running room. He's going to be hit and knocked out of bounds. Indians running towards the Indian stands as the Indians want to hold. The patrons in the stands want to hold, but no flags on the play. It will be a 7-yard gain. Let's call it 8-yard gain. Second down and 2 for Center. Yeah, the Cougars did a nice job of blocking that play. Had several men in front of the running back, pushed him up there for 8 yards.
The quarterback makes a short pitch, and he even got out there and led block for his running back. It'll be second down and 2, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. End of the first quarter, Indians lead 22-6. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
22-6. In the second quarter, it'll be the Cougars' ball at the 36-yard line. Second down and 3.
What? Welcome back to Miles Field here at St. Paul. Second and 2. Getting ready to start the second quarter. Center with the football. 1 receiver to the right, 1 to the left. It'll be second down and 2 for them from their own 36-yard line. In the shotgun is Espinoza. Going to keep it around the left-hand side. Cuts back to the center. He's going to be close to the first down, but driven backwards once he got to the 40-yard line, and it's going to be spotted at the 40, so it's going to be first down for Center at midfield. 22-6 Indians lead at the end of 1, just underway here in the second quarter. It'll be first and 10 for Center from midfield. Knows that the football touches the 40-yard line on their side of the football field.
And the Indians' defense, that's the first down they've given up since very early in the first quarter. So hopefully that's the last one they give up for a while. Have to stand strong. Again, those running backs are running very, very hard.
Espinoza comes in from the sideline with the play from Coach Steiner. He's going to come under center. And it's going to be a handoff out the middle, bottled up, but he gets around to the left side, but still going to be cut down. No gain on the play. Good pressure in the backfield. Albertini in there, Bradshaw in there. They wasn't in on the tackles, but they messed that play up from the start of it. It'll be second down, and let's call it 10, a half a yard gain, as now the nose of the football is into Indian territory at the 40-yard line. Two receivers to the right. Now it's going to be that funky set. Three to the right, three to the left. Espinosa's only one in the backfield beside with the center over the football. The Indians this time have two D-backs to the right, to the left. Now Albertini backs way up at the 20-yard line. Now they wait for the snap. I don't know what the holdup is. And here's the snap. Good snap. It's going to be a swing pass out to the left-hand side and out the sideline, and that's just exactly what you figured they would run out of that set. And he's going to gain about 2 yards, is the wide receiver from the pass and catch. It'll be third down and call it 7. Ball at the Indian 37-yard line. You don't see that set very often in 8-man football, Seth.
That's the second time we've seen it tonight. I wonder what kind of, I don't doubt that we'll see it again. I just kind of wonder what wrinkle they want to try, because, again, that's what you expect. I'm wondering if that's a setup for something later. I guess we'll see. I
formation now, third down and 7 for center. It's going to be a handoff to the tailback. Albertini misses him in the backfield, but the rest of his teammates come bottle him up. Good job by Gib Carter, Chandler Bradshaw, Colin Carlson, all come in off the pile. And it'll be fourth down and call it 5 for center from the Indians' 35-yard line. I'm kind of proud of myself, Seth. I got Chandler Bradshaw right. He's 60 and Chase is 65, and I haven't been able to keep them numbers straight all year long.
They had their helmets off. I couldn't tell you the difference.
Pistol formation, back to pass, across the middle's got a man wide open, and he falls down, but not until he's down to the Indian 16-yard line. The tight end off the left side come out wide open across the middle of the football field, and on the 4th and 5, they get about 15, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the Indians' 17-yard line.
Gosh, you hate to see that on 4th and 5. That a stop that the Indians really, really, really needed to make. Again, they're seeing some things they're not used to seeing. Hopefully they're learning from it. Won't let it happen again in the game.
There's the good and the bad. Albertini played that monster, snuck up through the line of scrimmage, and that's he vacated the area where he went. 2 to the left, 2 to the right for center. Back to pass. Now motion from left to right. It's a handoff. Up the cuts back up the middle. He's going to have good positive yardage on first down. Down across the 15. Across 15 down to the 11-yard line. So a gain of 5 on first down for center as they're having success here moving against the Indians. It'll be second down and 4 from the 11-yard line for center. That ball was carried by Riffle, the 6', 205-pound junior. Same set, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Espinoza in the pistol. Now motion from left to right. And it's double reverse going around the left-hand side, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown on the double reverse as center gets into the end zone and cuts the lead to 22-12. Could have been a hold around that left-hand side as a defensive end. Chase Bradshaw was tied up pretty good on that left side.
Yeah, Dan, we talked about setting up plays for other plays later. You usually don't see it in back-to-back plays that they ran the same formation, same motion, just one more handoff going back the other way.
Center with 2 receivers out to the right on the extra point. Espinoza up under center. Riffle in the backfield by himself now. A tight end splits wide out to the left. Back to pass. Under pressure by Bradshaw. Now he rolls to his right and throws it back across the middle, and that's going to be complete. Extra point is good to number 57, Sticka. 9:02 left to go here before halftime. 22-14, 8-point lead for the Indians. And we'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back. 9:02 left to go in the second quarter. 22-14. Center cuts into the Indians' lead off a nice drive put together by them.
Yeah, real nice drive. That's something the Indians had kept them from doing so far this game. So, again, saw some things that they'll learn from. And, again, the Indians have been able to get yards pretty much at will. The one thing they're going to have to do is take care of the ball. One thing they can't do is turn it over. So, again, look for a heavy dose of Adam Albertini here coming up again.
Espinoza has the ball teed up for center. Albertini back deep, squig kip off the left side, and it's going to be great field position as Chase Bradshaw kneels on that football. Chandler Bradshaw jumps on the football there. I was proud of myself, and I screwed that up.
Dan, I can understand him kicking it short, squib kicking it to keep it away from Albertini. I just can't imagine giving the Indians the ball at the 40-yard line, 35-yard line every play.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, every kickoff. Kick it out of bounds, give it to him at the 20 or whatever it is. I just maybe I'll say I'm sure the coach is a lot smarter than I am about football. I'm just not figuring it out right now.
The ball is spotted at midfield, still in Indian territory at the 39.5 I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. Albertini's going to keep it on the option around the left side. He's got some run room, cuts back to the middle. There he goes. Touchdown, Indians. No flags on the play. Is one cut on that option. He faked it to Carlson. They bit. He kept it. One cut, beat one man, and the way he goes, he's hard to catch. That's a 40-yard touchdown run by the Indians, so they answer that center touchdown rather quickly, and they lead 28-14.
Well, again, I guess on a deal like that, it doesn't really matter how far they kicked it. That would have been a touchdown from 75, the same as it would have been from the 40.
Adam Albertini, Seth, you don't talk about it much, but he's not a very big kid. He's built real solid, but he has such a low center of gravity. He makes him cut so quick, and he's so hard to bring down. He keeps it around the left side, and he just waltzes into the end zone. Extra point is good. So the Indians get that score back up to 16 points, 30-14, with 8:53 left to go here in the second quarter. And as I was saying, Seth, he has such a low center of gravity. He makes one cut, and you get in the secondary, and I wouldn't want to be the last guy left to catch him because he makes him cut so quick, and he's so powerful down low. He breaks a lot of tackles for a little guy.
Yeah, and he avoids so many tackles, like you say, as a defender, as a defensive back, and especially in eight-man football where you're really the last line of defense. I can just envision Albertini looking him in the eye and just thinking, you don't know what I'm going to do, and they don't. I mean, he can move his shoulders, and he's got to move. He's so fast. They just don't know what to do. And like you said, though, when they can get a hand on him, he's so low, and he's really such a powerful runner for his size. Even when they get a hand on him, that's not going to bring him down. You got to square him up, and that's very hard to do.
But the first key to all that success is you got to get through the line of scrimmage and get into the secondary, and he'll be the first one to give credit to his line of scrimmage and his lead blockers, Kennedy and Carlson, who are very unselfish and just go out there and smoke people every time and try to give him a running lane.
Yeah, they do an excellent job of that.
You got to love that belly option with the size of Carlson, the threat he is running up the middle. You really have to respect that. And another short kick by the Indians. Murillo, it's going to be taken by Riffle as he tries to get around. Kennedy's got him by the back and drags him down. So pretty good field position for center. And that's about the first time I've seen the Indians. Murillo, I don't know if he's been told to keep it out of Espinoza's hands or what, but he's usually a threat to kicking it into the end zone. But tonight he's been squibbing them regularly down the middle. So we'll see if there's any adjustments there made if he starts kicking it deep.
Well, and again, maybe that kickoff return we saw they've seen several times on film. Again, he's a good returner back there. So again, both coaches scared to kick it too deep with his speed and the athleticism of the returners. 1st and
10 for center from their own 34. One receiver to the left, one to the right. Espinoza in the pistol. Now flag comes in. False start against center, as that will back them inside their own 30 at the 29. So it will be 1st and 15. 8:45 left to go here before halftime. Indians lead 30-14. A nice drive put together by center, their last possession. So we'll see if the Indians defense can adjust. They did a real good job the first 3 possessions on center. The only lone glitch was a kickoff return by center that Espinoza returned it. Option to the left. Ball's loose on the ground. Carlson jumps on it. Turnover on center gives the Indians a football in great field position. And boy, Seth, you playing quarterback in the past, I don't know I've ever seen an option where the option guy was, I'm going to say he was 8 yards.
He was in the slot. He was split out in the slot. It looked like a receiver, and the quarterback kind of took it to him. I don't know what to call him. I'll call him the slot back. never really moved. So he was kind of waiting. I think once he kind of got over this way, he'd have gone with him. But he tried to pitch it, 7 yards. And, man, that's a tough play for anybody to make.
It wasn't a shovel pass. He was behind as Albertini takes football. There he goes again, cuts back to middle, and there he goes. Touchdown for the Indians, and that's going to be a 24-yard touchdown run as the line of scrimmage gives him a huge gap to run through at the line of scrimmage. And now there's a flag. I still don't even see it, but there's a flag apparently. Do you see where the flag's at?
I don't.
Oh, there it is, right there by his foot.
Oh, it's
clear back at the 28-yard line, holding against the Indians. Maybe that's why there's such a big hole for him to run through. So there's a holding for the Indians that's going to negate an Albertini touchdown run on first down, as it will be a spot foul. So this is going to be a huge loss for the Indians. Apologize for not seeing the flag. They're going to lose 10 yards. So it must have been thrown right at the line of scrimmage. But on center's turnover, the receiver's at the slot. If he would have shoveled that forward, it would have been an incomplete pass, but the running back was behind the quarterback. In the pistol is Albertini, 1st and 20 for the Indians. Same play. Albertini's going to keep it. Cuts back, now back up the middle. Cuts back out to the right. Breaks a couple tackles, stays on his feet. That's that low center of gravity I was talking about, where he was on his way to the ground, got another 5 yards as he kept his feet. So great play on first down. And it's going to be a 15-yard gain for Albertini, so it'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Indians. The ball now spotted.
Looks like it's right at the 25, is it? No, I'm sorry, the 20.
Inside the 20 at the 19, I believe. It's the far side of the field. Yes, it's at the 19-yard line, 2nd and 5 from the 19. In the pistol is Albertini. To his left is Kennedy. High snap over his head, and the ball's loose on the ground, still loose. And I think the Indians may have jumped back on it, and I believe they did, and that could have been disaster for the Indians. And it'll be 3rd down and long. It's going to be a big loss for the Indians. It's going to be a loss of 7. It'll be 3rd down. It's going to be a loss of 5. Snap just went over the fingertips of Albertini, and that's going to be a timeout for the Indians with a 3rd and 10 coming up with 7:21 left to go before half. Indians lead 30-14. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. Just a gorgeous evening for football. Not a breath of air. The wind was blowing pretty hard out of the northwest today, but has really died down, and just a beautiful evening here at St. Paul. Coming out of this timeout, a big 3rd down and 10 for the Indians. Now the ball spotted about the 24-yard line on the loss of 5 of the snap over the head of Albertini. It's going to be pistol formation. To his right is Dent in the slot. To his left is Carlson. 3rd down and 10. Now motion from right to left by Dent. Albertini's going to keep it. Follow Dent. He's going to be drugged down by the shirt tail, and he's going to lose a yard or two as there was that blitz again by number 22, and he timed it just right, and through the line of scrimmage he come, and he was just able to get Albertini by the back of the jersey. It'll be a loss of a yard, 4th and 11 for the Indians.
Kind of that same deal that's been happening. Dan jumped the snap. That time he timed it just right, came right through there. Again, back to that fumbled snap on 3rd down, or I'm sorry, on 2nd down. We talked about it at the beginning of this drive. Something the Indians are going to have to do is take care of the ball. Again, they'd have had, a 3rd and 5 instead of a 3rd and 10 here. Now they got 4th and 12.
4th and 12. Now Carlson goes in motion. Albertini's going to roll out to his right, throws it back to Dent, and it's going to fall incomplete as Coach Watrick upset with someone on the play as Albertini was under duress again and had to just get rid of it too quick. Dent was out there, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. And that time the Indians kind of did it to themselves, Seth, with a couple big penalties. One, a holding that negated an Albertini touchdown, and the second one, the snap over the top of their head, over the top of the head of Albertini on the big loss. So the Indians turn it over on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for center from their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, nothing worse than a penalty that takes points off the board.
I formation. Espinoza under center for center. 6:36 left to go before halftime. Riffle off to the right-hand side, going to be bottled up. The defense of the Indians stay focused here. It's going to be little or no gain on the play, as it looks like Dent and Carlson both get in off the bottom of the pile. And it's going to be a very short gain. Let's just call it a gain. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 for center.
2nd down and 10 for the Indians, for the Cougars.
Very important drive for the Indian defense here after that was their first dry drive, so better do the same to center.
2 to the left, 2 to the right for center. This is when they usually put one in motion here. Espinoza in a pistol. Nope, they stay set. Back to pass. Under pressure by Bradshaw. Throws it late. Picked off again by Carlson. Down the sideline he goes, and he's pushed out of bounds about the 2-yard line. Colin Carlson read that perfectly. On our side of the football, it's perfect to see, as Espinoza was under pressure by Bradshaw and Carter. Had to get rid of that football, and Carlson stepped right in front of it and picked it off.
What a great play, and that was the one it's one of those ones from up here you could kind of see unfolding. You could see the quarterback looking over here, and you could see Carlson just licking his chops going to get that thing, and had plenty of running room. Like I said, got down to 3. I'd like to see him punch it in because he made such a great play, but excellent job by the defense there holding tight. 1st
and goal for the Indians off that glitch on offense last time. They get the football right back. And in the pistol is Albertini. Set to his right is Kennedy. To the left in the slot is Carlson. Albertini's going to keep it. Stays on the left side. Gets to the pylon. Touchdown, Indians. 5-yard touchdown run by Albertini. Good lead blocking by Carlson and Kennedy. And the line of scrimmage to get Albertini in the end zone. 5:44 left to go here before half. 36-14 is their lead.
Great job by the Indians. You know, a lot of the same guys that were on that on that offense that kind of killed that last drive are also on this defense. I think they took it personal, took the ball back, and got the touchdown that they'd given up in the last drive.
Pending the extra point. Albertini's going to come up under center. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, waiting for the snapper on the extra point. Handoff, nope, he's going to keep it around the right side, and he just walks in there. Everybody goes after Colin Carlson, and into the end zone goes Albertini. I think they blew the play dead. Are they going to give it to him?
Well, I don't know what happened. Number 25 was standing there just watching them.
Now they're going to get together they did put the points on the board.
Yeah, there's no reason that it wouldn't have counted. They must have fooled the refs too, because
I think somebody might have blown the whistle because everybody's going after Carlson. Albertini pulled it out of his belly on the option and kept it around the right side. As Coach Wattrick has his hands in the air, but the points are on the board, right? 38-14. As now they're going to.
I think the points are on the board because we watched him walk into the end zone, but I don't know if the refs on the field are saying the same thing. Coach Wattrick doesn't look like we're.
Either way, 38-14. Extra point was good. 5:44 left to go before halftime. The Indians lead 38-14. A great option read.
I've never seen the defensive end just stood. I mean, I'm telling you, stood there like a statue as Albertini and Carlson carried out the rest of the play, and they just kind of walked right by him. I've never seen anything like that.
Murillo has the ball teed up for the Indians. The Indians lead 38-14. 5:44 left to go here before halftime. See if Murillo kicks it deep this time, keeps it away, or squibs it down the middle again as he has the ball teed up at his own 30. Squib kick down the middle of the field, going to be taken by the up back at the 25. He's hit hard by Wilson Smith. Good one-on-one tackle by Wilson Smith on number 29, Sabota. But it's still going to be good field position by center. They're going to start at their own 32-yard line. Good to see them youngsters get in there and get their head right in there amongst them.
Absolutely.
Wilson Smith coming in as a sophomore, getting some playing time this year, especially on special teams. Defense takes the field for the Indians. Here's that 3 wide to the right, 3 wide to the left. The center and Espinoza. No, now it's not Espinoza. It's number 22, Riffle in the shotgun. Espinoza split wide to the right. And I'll bet you it's going to be a quick pass to him. Nope, he's looking to the left. And it is a quick pass to the left. And good defense by the Indians. Going to bring. Oh, there's a hit by number 57 to the head of Carter. Boy, they don't throw a flag, and somebody had to see that.
And I think, Dan, that's what they were talking about after the extra point play. It looked like Adam got thrown down at the end of the play after he'd walked into the end zone. I think that's what Coach Wattrick was so upset about. Again, from here, it looked like it should have for sure been a late hit because he walked into the end zone. There was no reason for him to be on the ground. So things get a little chippy. You can see the frustration for the Lost Springs center team.
Second down and 9 for center. Ball spotted to 32. Everybody needs to keep their cool here for the Indians. Split back formation this time. Espinoza up under center. Here's the snap. Fullback dive off the left side. He's got some running room, running hard, and close to the first down is number 22, Riffle. And I believe he's going to be right at the markers. And it is going to be a first down for the Cougars into Indian territory at the Indian 38-yard line. First and 10 for the Cougars from the 38. 4:45 left to go before halftime. 38-14, Indians lead. First and 10 for the Cougars at the Indian 38. Split back formation. Espinoza up under center. It's going to be a dive to the right this time. Ankle tackle. Good tackle by Albertini as he gets in there. It'll be second down and 9 as the Indians fans getting a little stirred up over here too. Set, second down and 8 for the Indians. Ball down to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, it's been a physical game, no doubt about it. There's been some long runs, things like that, but there's also been some smash-mouth football right at the line of scrimmage, especially from the offensive center. So, again, like you mentioned, Dan, the Indians just need to keep their cool, play their game, they'll be fine.
One to the right, one to the left for center on the second down, and 8 in the pistol is Espinoza. Set to his right is Riffle. Bad snap, ball's loose on the ground, and Bradshaw gets on it. Turnover by center, and that is Chandler Bradshaw, number 60, jumps on that football. And that's the third turnover of the game against center. So the Indians, fourth turnover of the game.
2 interceptions, 2 fumbles.
That's
Dan.
right,
yeah.
2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Both interceptions by Colin Carlson. So, and Bradshaw got on that, Chandler Bradshaw got on that football. It's going to be first and 10 for the Indians into center territory at the 32-yard line. See if the Indians can take advantage of all these turnovers. I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Need to go hard. We're going to roll out to his right. Looking down the middle. Now to the right. Has a man out there. It's Chandler Bradshaw, and he's ripped down. No flag. It looked like
there it is. I was going to say
flag.
that. I didn't see any way that wasn't a face mask. Yeah, and that's the third. I mean, that's just, you a couple times you can see, a mistake, but it's turning into something of a little bit of a pattern here, grabbing kids by the face mask and pulling them down. You hate seeing that in a high school game, Dan.
Now they're going to get together and talk about it as the white hatter comes to the side. And it is a face mask against center. 5-yarder. Yeah, how's that just a 5-yarder? He tackled him by the face mask. There's no way that was incidental. Anyway, it's going to be a first down for the Indians on the pass and catch from Adam Albertini to Chandler Bradshaw. I formation again. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. He's going to roll to his left this time. Keeps it, cuts back to the middle of the field. Now to the right. He's got some running room. Cuts back towards the center of the field. To the right again. Keeps on his feet. Stays on his feet. Still running hard inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line.
Wow, impressive run by Albertini. Again, that wasn't one of those couple jukes and finesse. That was break 3 tackles and carry a guy out of bounds for another 5 yards. Great run by Albertini.
First and goal for the Indians inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. 38-14, Indians lead. 3:28 left to go in the first half. Looks like the ball spotted about the 8. Most of the football game's been played on the far end of the football field away from us, Seth, and that's a good thing for the Indians because that's their end of the field. Albertini in the pistol. He's going to take the snap, keep it around the left-hand side, cuts back up to the center, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indians.
Albertini on the carry, 8-yard touchdown run for St. Paul.
8-yard touchdown run by the Indians, and Adam Albertini gives the Indians a 44-14 lead with 3:22 left to go here in the second quarter, pinning the extra point.
Again, a nice drive there by the Indians. Completed a pass there. That was the first pass attempt for the Indians, so showing them a few different things, and then but then back to the steady dose of Albertini and end up in a touchdown for the Indians.
Chase Bradshaw comes up over the football for the Indians. Split or in the pistol is Albertini. Set to his left is Keaton Kennedy. Slot to the left is Carlson. Takes a snap. Going to hand the ball off to Kennedy. Back towards the middle, and extra point is no good. Just short of the goal line. So with 3:22 left to go in the second quarter, Indians lead 44-14. Have a 30-point lead. We'll be back After this 30-second timeout, you're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
44, and the Cougars 14.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. Dan Vitt alongside Seth Bourne, stepping in for Mike, my color man, who is off to work out of state, out of sight, out of mind. There's poor old Mike. I thought he retired, but yeah, he's up at Washington working this week. We really don't know how much I miss old Mike when it comes to getting all this stuff set up. It took a while to get the live stream running without Mike, but we got her figured out now, Seth.
Sometimes we take those fine men for granted, don't we,
Yeah,
old Mike?
We sure do. And I'm sure Mike's watching on the live stream. That's what's great about that live stream, sponsored by Farmers National. Doesn't matter where you are, just get on old YouTube and pick up the old Indians and watch them on a Friday night. 3:22 left to go in the first half, 44-14. Murillo with the squib kick. It's going to be taken and dumped on at the up-back position. And I don't want to take away from the Cougars, Seth, but I think we ought to be kicking that dang football deep.
You know, like I said, I'm guessing they saw something on film that, you know, maybe it's what we saw for that first kickoff, and they were only going to try it once. But, yeah, I just can't imagine. And, again, it's gone okay so far, right? The Cougars only have 14 points, but you just can't – I just can't, in my mind, reconcile the fact of giving them the ball at almost midfield every series.
First and 10 from the Cougars from their own 35. One receiver to the right, one to the left. Espinoza in the pistol. Here's the shotgun snap. He's going to keep it around the left-hand sides. Indians kind of got him bottled up. Now up the middle. Got a little running room. Good move by Espinoza up the middle as Easton Dent has to tackle him after about a 6-yard gain. Man, looked like the Indians had him in the backfield. So good hard run by him. Gives the Cougars a nice 8-yard gain on first down into Indian territory, down to the Indian 38-yard line.
Yeah, Espinoza reversed field 2 or 3 times. Thought we had him balled up, and then he just shot like a rocket right through the middle.
Espinoza, one of the 2 seniors on the squad for center, so fairly young team by center. 2 receivers wide to the right, 2 to the left. Espinoza in the pistol by himself. Now a little confusion by the Indians. Motion from left to right. It's going to be a handoff to the man in motion, and Carlson has to come up, and Kennedy, he's going to be close to the first down. He's going to have just enough for the first down, and a little bit of confusion by the Indians defense as Kennedy was motioning Carlson, and that motion from left to right caused the Indians a little bit of trouble. They scored on that double reverse earlier, Mike, out of that formation. So that formation is going to take a little adjustment by the Indians here at halftime.
Yeah, we've seen that kind of, I don't really know what to call it, honestly. It's kind of like a double split. You got 2 slot receivers and then 2 split ends, basically, and just 3 left on the line.
Same set, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Espinoza in the pistol, now motion. He's just going to keep it off the right-hand side, and good, hard hit. Up there's Colin Carlson. It's going to be a short gain on the play, gain of 1. But Carlson comes up from that linebacker position. Actually, he was split out on that formation, and he come up, laid the wood to him. 1-yard gain on the play, second down and 9. Ball at the Indian 33-yard line. 1:51 left to go here in the first half, 44-14. Let's see if the Indians can hold center, the Cougars, out of the end zone going into halftime here.
Yeah, and that was probably, Dan, I'd say that was the 5th or 6th time we'd seen that formation. They'd run just a straight run out of it, a reverse. That was the first time the quarterback kept the ball, so it's showing a lot of different looks out of every formation.
Up under center, Espinoza, single back set behind him. He's going to keep it, run to his left, and he's going to have a short gain on the play. Albertini comes up quick, as well as somebody else. I see Bradshaw getting up out of the pile, and Colin Carlson again from the linebacker position. It's going to be another gain of 1. It's going to be third down and 8. Ball at the 32.5-yard line, 1:11 left to go, and there's a timeout for center. I believe they only have 1 left. So it'll be, when we come back from this timeout, it'll be third down and 8 for center. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
So get your tickets out and get ready for those numbers coming up soon.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. 3rd down and 8 for Center coming out of timeout. They have 1 left. 1:10 left to go in the first half. Indians lead 44-14, trying to advance to the round of 8. 3rd down and 8 for Center. 2 receivers wide to the right, way out wide to the right as the ball's on the left hash. Single back set behind Espinoza. Now motion from right to left by Riffle. Back to pass, rolling to his right. Throwing across the middle, it's going to be complete, close to the first down. Hit by Carlson and Kennedy and out of bounds, just short of the first down. So it'll be 4th down and a yard for Center. Ball now at the 26-yard line.
Boy, if that split receiver to the right side there and the quarterback would have been on the same page, that motion took both Indian defensive backs to the middle of the field. He was standing there, and God bless Skid, he just ran a post right into the middle where the defenders had just gone. So thankfully they didn't make that eye contact and see what was happening.
4th and 1. In the pistol is Espinoza, running back to his right and to his left. Here comes the snap on the 4th and 1. It's a good snap. Back to pass on a 4th and 1 across the middle of the field and off the fingertips on the play action, as I believe Kennedy jumped a little too soon and it went over his head. And thank goodness, number 7 off his fingertips dropped it, and the Indians are going to take over on downs on the 4th and 1. Didn't really expect that play, but 58 seconds left to go here in the first half. Center probably figuring they have to pull out the stops and score before halftime here, and they don't, so the Indians defense holds.
Boy, Dan, that's maybe that was their plan. Maybe they figured nobody was going to think they were going to be passing on 4th and 1, and you think there you go get the first down, you still got a minute left and 1 timeout, but again, he had him open. A good pass probably would have scored a touchdown there, but thankfully for the Indians, they were able to hold them off, and hopefully they got some time here to score.
In the pistols, Albertini stands at his own 20. Now Carlson goes in motion. Albertini takes a snap, rolls to his right, throws it back to the left. They've tried this play. Easton Dent open, needs to get out of bounds, and he doesn't, and he's going to stay in bounds. He's going to have first down, so the clock will stop. 48 seconds left. Oh, they're going to blow it dead. Maybe he did get out of bounds. As they stop the clock, as the chains get set, we'll see if the Indians get right back up to the line of scrimmage. They've tried that play 3 times. That's the first time it's been successful. In the pistol is Albertini. To slot right is Dent. To Albertini's right is Carlson. Here's the snap. Albertini takes it around the right side, tries to get to the outside, does, and stays in bounds, still in bounds, and finally gets knocked out of bounds, not until he is about the 31-yard line. It'll be good for an Indian first down, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians. A ball at the 31-yard line of Center.
And the Indians 33 seconds, 2 timeouts left. We've got plenty of time here. Good smart play, though, by Albertini to get out of bounds there. He was thinking about coming back inside and getting some more yards, but did the smart thing, step out of bounds. Let's reset and run another play.
33 seconds left to go in the first half. Indians try to add to this 30-point lead. They lead 44-14, 33 seconds left. In the pistols, Albertini. Slot to the right is Dent. To the left is Carlson. Now Dent in motion from right to left. Albertini's going to follow them big blockers. Cuts back towards the center of the field. Now to the outside. Turns the gas on, and he beats the last man. Touchdown, Indians. Great lead blocking by Dent and Carlson as Dent come around that corner, and I wouldn't want him in my way. I'd probably just trip and fall and pretend like I stubbed my toe as one Cougar had Albertini, just barely got a hold of his jersey. Albertini able to run past it, and another great night getting put together by Adam Albertini on the ground.
Very, very impressive. Again, that was another one where the speed got in there to probably the 10-yard line. One of the Cougars got a hold of his jersey where a lot of guys that would have brought down, but such a strong, like you said, low center gravity runner, and just it's going to take more than an arm or a hand to bring him down.
50-14, Indians lead. Same formation in the pistols. Albertini set to his right is Carlson. Here comes the snap. It's going to be Carlson on the give this time. He leans for the end zone. Shoulder pads down. Oh, good hard run by Colin Carlson into the end zone for the extra point, and it is good. And the Indians lead 52-14 with 24 seconds left to go before halftime. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Folks, get out your raffle tickets for the wreath raffle. We'll be drawing for 2 wreaths. The first number is 722-381. 722-381. This is your number. Go to the concession stand and claim your wreath. The second number is 722-388. 722-388. This is your number, you go down to the concession stand and claim your wreath as well. And get those numbers one more time.
Welcome back as the Indians lead 52-14 with 24 seconds left to go to the first half. And I'm not the statistician here, Seth, but I'm guessing Albertini's got to be bumping on 200 yards again. He's got to be close to the 2,000-yard mark on the season. Follow them big lead blockers for the Indians, that line of scrimmage, as Murillo tees the ball up again for the Indians. Stick around for our Labette Health halftime show. Coming up here in 24 seconds. Indians lead 52-14. Tried to advance to what we'll call the Elite Eight. Just 8 teams left after tonight. I assume all the 8-man 2 games are tonight. I guess I didn't actually look at the schedule. Murillo kicks it deep. Nobody back deep this time, and into the end zone it goes. So it's going to be a great kick by Murillo. It'll be first and 10 for center from their own 15.
Dan, I was thinking of all the times not to kick it deep and give him a chance for a return. What the heck's he doing? Then I look back there, and there's nobody to return it. So I did the right thing, boot in the end zone and start him at the 15.
Espinoza had scooted up to about his own 25 or 30-yard line. I didn't either until he seen it kicking and flying through the air and looked down there, and, well, there wasn't nobody there. So, and I believe that ball flew into the end zone anyway. So
yeah.
Wasn't going to be a return possible. First and 10 for center from their own 15-yard line. Split back formation. Espinoza up under center with 24 seconds left to go before half. He's going to roll out to his right. Pump fakes now back to the left. Has a man on the screen pass. Has some room. Gets around Dent and Carter. There's a block in the back and no flag. And I can't believe there's no flag, as there was a terrible block in the back on Albertini. And touchdown center.
And it was no more than 4 feet in front of that referee that was sitting right there. I would have bet $100 he was going to reach for and grab the flag. He just let it go.
And I can't believe it neither, because it was as obvious as day. They clear across the field, and Seth and I both seen it as Albertini got shoved right into number 11 in the back, and he still nearly kept on his feet to chase it down as center scores with 9 seconds left on the screen pass. And cuts into the Indian lead. Indians lead 52-20. Extra point pending. Espinoza rolls out to the right. It's going to reverse. Ball's loose on the ground, and that's time the Indians negate the extra point. It is no good. So with 9 seconds left to go before half, 52-20. Plenty of time for the Indians to score.
I think so. It's about one play, right? That's all you need. We've still got a timeout. We're good.
52-20. 32-point lead for the Indians with 9 seconds left. I'm sure Indians defense not happy with themselves. Dent and Gibb Carter both had a chance on that screen pass to get the runner down to the ground, but what really drew the attention was Albertini, who was coming up to make a tackle and blatantly got shoved in the back. Either way, it'll be Indians football. 9 seconds left going into the Labette Health halftime show with a nice lead, 52-20. We're going to go ahead and stay here for this kickoff. And don't have much activities going on as we are in. Like I said, when you're playing football in November, that's a great sign, but volleyball is wrapped up. Indians girls with a great season this year. Cross country, Taylor Watrick went to Wamego, ran last week, had a nice showing at cross country, Seth, at Wamego for the St. Paul cross country team, and that is all wrapped up, and we are going to hopefully extend the football season by hopefully 3 more weeks here, Seth. And if the Indians can do that, it'll be roll around. Next thing you know, you'll be playing basketball.
Yeah. Once you play, like you said, once you play that late in November, a lot of times I think you end up with about a week of practice and you're right into basketball. I can remember my senior year, we kind of did a little bit of that, and it was hard not to start tackling people on the basketball court because you're so used to being on the football field. But Indians look to have a good basketball season this year too. So
look for the center to keep this out of Albertini's hands, and it is an onside kick taken by Carlson as he gets on at the 35-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 for the Indians from their own 35-yard line as the Indians have 9 seconds and 2 timeouts to work with here. Going into halftime, they lead 52-20.
God, and you hate kind of back to that, back to that kind of sequence there in just the last minute. You know, you take the ball away, you don't let them score, you go down and score really quickly. Just it's a punch in the gut to give up that touchdown on one play with 24 seconds left.
2 to the left for the Indians. Albertini in the pistol. He rolls to his left to pass it. Rolls, throws it, and it's going to be Bradshaw in on the completion with 2 seconds left, and it is going to be a completion. He bobbled that, but they're going to give it to him inside the 30 at the 29-yard line with 1 second left to go before halftime. He is out of bounds, so the clock stops, so the Indians has time for one more play.
Just great concentration on that. Bobbled it up through about 4 steps, but then was able to haul it in right at the goal line, tap that foot, and
Chandler Bradshaw with a reception by Albertini. Chandler Bradshaw's had a couple good receptions. It's good to have him back. He was out a few weeks with an illness. Wasn't sure he was going to be able to finish out the season for the Indians, but he came back 3 weeks ago, and he's really, in 8-man football, you don't really don't know how much a player can mean to a team. In 8-man football, sometimes the roster's pretty slim, and just, it was enabled Gib Carter to go from defensive end back to his really natural position at nose guard, and then back to a guard on offense. So having both the Bradshaw boys back has really helped the Indians running into the playoffs here.
Yeah, with the size they both bring, it's excellent to have them both on the field. And like you said, not just size, great athleticism, two good football players. Like you said, it lets Gibb go back to his natural position, which is better for both sides of the ball. Just again, whenever you've been practicing it since two-a-days started the first part of the year. So to get back to that natural position really can kind of really change things there in the middle of the season.
Breaking the action here with the Indians timeout. We stayed here with 1 second left to go before halftime. The Indians break huddle out of the Indians timeout. There's 1 second left on the clock. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the center, 33-yard line. So 33 yards to go in. This will be the last play of the half, unless there is a defensive penalty. Albertini in the pistol, 3 receivers set wide to the right. Albertini's going to pump and go. He's going to keep it, and he's going to throw it deep. Good arm, well over the head of everybody, and it falls out of bounds harmlessly. And that'll be halftime. Indians lead by 32, 52-20 here at halftime. Stick around for our Labette Health halftime show. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, where the Indians lead here at halftime, 52-20. Welcome to our Labette Health halftime show. Pretty good first half put together by the Indians. Great defense in the first half. Just a few hiccups, a few big plays. A kickoff return by center, a double reverse, got him into the end zone, and then a screen pass right before halftime got him into the end zone for the third time. But besides that, I thought the Indians' defense has played pretty well.
Really pretty solid, Dan. I'm kind of trying to look over my scribbles here on some of the stats I've got. From what I've got here, giving up only, just a little over 112 yards on the ground, and the biggest part of that coming on that play there right at the end of the half where they ran 65 yards for a touchdown. Other than that, like you said, really not much. Center's trying to run the ball hard, trying to keep it up the middle when they can. They've got some good, strong runners, but really the Indians have done a great job kind of holding them in check there.
Indians defense, I thought, played really well. And then on the other side, the center, the Cougars, just really, quite honestly, unable to stop the Indians at all. Indians offense has just been extremely potent tonight. Great block. And by the line of scrimmage, and their lead blocker, Adam Albertini, having a great game again on the ground. Colin Carlson having a good game. Keaton Kennedy, Easton Dent, one of them unsung people. You know, you got to give the line of scrimmage, the Bradshaw boys, Gib Carter, Ivan Murillo comes in there sometimes and plays a guard, and Dent comes in there, goes up and plays a guard every once in a while, and does an awesome job at that line of scrimmage for the Indians. And they really, that's where the Indians lost the bulk, not all, but the bulk of their seniors graduating was that line of scrimmage. That was the big question mark coming into this year, as well as losing Bourne at quarterback. Albertini stepped in there at the quarterback position quite nicely. Colin Carlson, he's a returner that's played fullback and linebacker all year last year. Keaton Kennedy stepped in at halfback. He's done a great job. But the Indians, big question marks with their line of scrimmage, and it's taken a few games during this year, but they really kind of gelled together, Seth.
Yeah, and it's easy to see whenever, Dan you touched on the extremely, extremely impressive numbers of Adam Albertini over the year. A lot of that is because he's just an incredibly gifted athlete, but there's a whole lot of that comes from those guys up front. Like you said, that was a little bit of a question mark coming into the season, but the guys that are there now have definitely stepped up, answered the call. You mentioned the Bradshaw boys who are doing a great job there on the line. Gib Carter, guys that saw a little bit of time last year, but not a lot, not probably as much as they'd like to, really have been impressive this year. So it's great to see. And like you said, I'm sure Adam would be the first one to tell you that's how he gets past that first wave, right? So then when he can get to the defensive backfield, some of those defensive backs, then he can do what he does by making people miss and breaking some of those arm tackles.
Now, the Indians are going to really miss their seniors next year, graduate 3 seniors, but the bulk of the line of scrimmage comes back are all underclassmen, sophomores or juniors. Albertini just a junior, but both Kennedy and Carlson are going to be huge losses in the backfield, as well as Haney at the tight end position. So the Indians will be should get a little bigger and stronger at the line position next year with Albertini coming back. Just a couple pieces of the puzzle missing that underclassmen got to step up, and the Indians are going to be awful stout again next year, I think.
Yeah, and like you said, with Kennedy and Carlson, both saw pretty extensive time in the backfield last year. So the Indians' backfield with this year, even with the loss of Bourne, you've got some veteran presence, and it shows with the offensive numbers that they've put up. And like you said, losing those 2 halfbacks, halfback, fullback, is going to be a big loss. It'll be interesting to see how they try to cover those spots. The good news is you are bringing back your quarterback, so that's always a positive thing.
8:57 left to go in the Labette Health halftime show. The Indians lead 52-20. We're going to take another 2-minute break. When we come back from that 2-minute break, Seth Bourne is going to have our Labette Health halftime stats for you. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul Football on Hot 105. Oh, heck, I ain't got nothing road in it anyway. Let them all road in it. Welcome back to Miles Field here at St. Paul. Our Labette Health halftime show. 6:20 left to go at halftime. 52-20. Indians lead by 32. Seth, what do you got for first half stats?
Yeah, and you'll have to bear with me here. I am not the greatest statistician. I got if you guys could see my sheet here, it just looked like a whole lot of numbers written with no order at all. But let me see what I can get for you.
I got all the faith in the world in you, Seth. You just keep adding all them numbers up. We'll believe you.
All right. Yeah. Right. I'm the only one with the stat sheet, right?
That's right.
So we'll start with the big one, right? That's Adam Albertini. He's had a heck of a first half. Dan mentioned before that he was getting close to 200 yards. He has eclipsed that. He's at 228 yards on 15 carries, and if you put that through your little calculator there on your telephone, that'll tell you that's 15.2 yards per carry. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
2,050 yards on the season, Seth, on the ground. That's not counting all special team play.
Yeah, and add to that the fact that he's scored 6 touchdowns tonight, which I know he had a heck of a high number. What did you tell me? It was 52 before the game started tonight.
51 and running.
So again, 6 touchdowns on the ground tonight. Just incredibly impressive first half. Again, with Adam racking up so many yards, hasn't been a ton. Like you said, the other two guys have been doing that dirty work, but they're happy to do it. I got Carlson with 18 yards on 3 carries, and Kennedy with 3 yards on 1 carry. So a total for the Indians of 259 yards on the ground. Pretty impressive first half, and you can see went well for them with 52 points in the first half. Passing the ball. Again, with so many yards on the ground, there wasn't much going on in the passing game. The Indians were 3 out of 6. Like I said, Bradshaw had 24 yards there. Easton Dent with 12. So the 3 passes we completed there to those 2. On the center side of the ball, we kind of talked about it before the break there, but the Indians have done a pretty good job holding them in check. I was a little short on my yardage estimation, but they were at 128 yards. Main rusher there was Riffle, who had 98 yards and a touchdown. Again, the majority of that coming on that kind of broken play by the Indian defense there at the end of the first half.
Espinoza, the quarterback.
Espinoza, yeah, he's had several rushing attempts, done a pretty good job rushing the ball, got a total of 20 yards, and then
number 29.
I'm going to let you say his name there, Dan, for me.
Svoboda.
They're adding 10. They've done a little more passing, have a few more yards on the passing side. They are 5 for 7 on the passing side of the ball. Most of their passes there to Svoboda. Total of, again, the yardage total, the Indians have been able to keep them in check pretty well, a total of about 34 yards passing. So, again, all in all, the Indian defense has done a real good job holding tight. You know, we started out talking about how hard those center running backs were running, and they are. The Indians defense have done a great job, though. A lot of gang tackling, done a good job kind of getting at least that first stop at the line of scrimmage. So most of the yards that the Cougars have gained were kind of after contact, which is always good to see, because once you make contact there, that gives the rest of the defense time to come in and join in the party. So a little bit on the touchdown or scoring drives for the Indians. First score came on a 31-yard run by Anthony Albertini. Second on an 18-yard run by Colin Carlson. And then from there on out, it was Adam Albertini on runs of 2, 40, 5, 8, and 32. So again, a lot of long runs, as you can tell by his yardage totals, 15 yards a clip. You can rack them up pretty fast, and again, 6 touchdowns. Again, pretty impressive there, Dan. For center, only 3 touchdowns. Again, the first one we talked about was on that 75-yard kickoff return there early in the first quarter. And then they had an 11-yard run on that reverse. That was by Espinoza, and then Riffle with that 65-yard run there to end the half. So really, 2 touchdowns there that you like to think really probably shouldn't have happened, Dan. That kickoff return, which you never like to see. It's one of those things. It's going to happen, but one you really don't like to give up the way the Indians defense plays. And even more kind of heartbreaking was that 65-yard run whenever they only had 25 seconds left at the end of the half there.
So that's our Labette Health halftime stats. Thanks, Seth, for keeping track of all the stats for us as we go into the second half here. We got about 5 minutes until the second half kickoff. The Indians lead 52-20 here at halftime, trying to advance out of regional play into the sectional game next Friday night. But we want to get the cart before the horse here. We're going to take another break. We're going to take another 2-minute timeout. When we come back from that 2-minute timeout, we'll bring you the keys to the second half for the Indians. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. welcome back to Miles Field here at St. Paul. Dan Vitt alongside Mike McCracken. Our halftime score, Indians 52, Center 20, as the Indians try to advance out of regional play into the sectional game, which will be played next Friday night. If the Indians can hold on to this lead and come out with a victory, most likely they are going to travel. No, not most likely. They will travel, as Hanover and Frankfort is down below them in the bracket. So they would play the winner of the Hanover and Frankfort. And I believe Frankfort is west of us, but not a lot west of us. We'll have to look at the map on that one, as we did play Frankfort last year, and I'm sure they are just a little bit west of us. But either way, east goes to west in Division II if the Indians can cling on to this lead over Center here as we get warmed, each team back out on the field getting warmed up for the second half. What's the keys to the second half for you, Seth?
Again, I think, Dan, the protection of the ball, right? So the Indians have been able to pretty much do what they want on offense. Haven't had any trouble scoring. I think only one drive that they didn't score on, and that was because of some penalties and, again, that fumble. So I mentioned protecting the ball. I think they really need to continue to just feed the ball to Adam Albertini. It's kind of probably cliche and easy for me to say, but, again, why mess with what got you here? On the defense side of the ball, again, stay tough at the line of scrimmage. They're going to see some more of that goofy formation stuff, right? They're going center's going to be playing from behind, so I look for them to do some punny things out of some of those odd formations. We'll just have to see. Again, they've shown a few things, but I'm sure they've got a few more things to build off of those spread formations they've got. Indians
should get to football to start the third quarter, as keys to the second half to me is the exact same thing. Keys to the first half, Seth, turnovers. Center had 4 turnovers. The Indians took advantage of every one of them. The Indians punt team hasn't been on the football field tonight, and we don't want to see it on the football field tonight, which has been a great sign for the offense. Defense, just do what you're doing. They've made Center work at all of their drives. It's just a few little glitches here and there. A couple of missed tackles on that screen play right there before halftime could have had Center. You could have been in at halftime, and it could have been 52 to 14, but instead, a couple missed tackles. That's what 8-man football do to you. So sure tackling in the second half. Keep doing what you're doing on defense. Look for all them trick plays. Center's having to pull everything out of the hat here tonight, and just keep doing what you're doing on offense.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the lack of punts on both sides. The kind of the kickoff game that's been going on is taking the punt kind of out of the game. When you start every drive at somewhere close to center field, most guys are in 4-down territory, from the get-go, and I think Center's going to be in 4-down. 4-down territory, no matter where they're out on the field, being down 32 points here to start the first half. So the good news is the Indians get the ball because they kicked off. So let's see what they can do with the ball starting out.
A lot of excitement in Southeast Kansas with all the games going on as all the bracket play area teams try to advance. As I said, down below the Indians, Hanover and Frankfort plays tonight. Hanover undefeated on the season, playing Frankfort at 7-2, and I had a score update. 12-6, Frankfort was ahead, but it was still in the first quarter. So 8-man football, that's likely to change about 100 times. But either way, Frankfort very big and physical. St. Paul well aware of Frankfort and Axtell. Here's the kickoff, second half. Squig Kip going to be taken by the up-back. Carlson just dies on it about the 31-yard line. It's a great field position for the Indians to start the third quarter.
Yeah, and there you go with that great field position for the Indians. Again, when you start at the 30, 35, 40-yard line every series, it sure makes things easier on you. You don't have to worry. You've still got room if something goes wrong in the backfield. You've just got a shorter field, and it just makes things a lot easier.
1st and 10 for the Indians from their own 31. I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Here comes the first snap of the second half. Handoff to Carlson right up the middle. Them ugly yards that Colin Carlson gets you every time. And as you will know, Seth, running from under Coach Tuck's tutelage years ago, that belly option for the Indians has always been a staple in their handbook. The 8-man football is kind of involved a little more to the spread, but Coach Wattrick still likes to go back to that eye and that option with a weapon of Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, and Albertini at the quarterback. You can run that belly option and ride that fullback down in the line. Eventually, them defensive ends are going to get hung out to dry.
Got the perfect personnel for it, yep.
Albertini with the carry off the left-hand side, gets down the left-hand sideline, one man to beat. 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Ooh, touchdown. And that's one time where... Who was that chased him down right at the goal line? A lot of speed. It was Espinoza.
Yeah.
As he chased Albertini down that sideline and got him about the 2-yard line, but Albertini lunged into the end zone. Touchdown, Indians on Albertini. Golly, how far 45, was it? 45-yard run to add to his rushing totals. I can see why the Indians maybe were kicking away from Espinoza on that kickoff coverage now, because there was some speed by Espinoza running right with Albertini down that left-hand sideline.
Dan, I was thinking the same thing when I realized who it was. When I saw him chasing him down, I'm saying that's the kick returner. No wonder we aren't kicking it there, yeah.
58-20, great drive by the Indians to start this third quarter. Hand off to Kennedy, right side, shoulder pads down. He's going to be ridden down hard at the 3-yard line. Extra point is no good. Big number 57 in on that tackle. And the Indians lead 58-20, lead by 38 with 11:18 left to go in the third quarter. So great drive put together by the Indians. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Waverly. Huh?
I was looking at their scores. They gave up like 12 points first game, 6 points the next game. They gave up 7 points since. Well, is that somebody Axtell? Maybe that was Burlington. Axtell gave them a pretty good game. Okay, so maybe that's not.
No, that's right.
Oh, it is. Early in the year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was close.
Welcome back here to Miles Field, as Seth and I was discussing about looking at scores. As you look, Hanover's just they've just been wicked this year. We have a lot of experience with Hanover. I think the last time we played, I don't want to bring up any bad memories for anybody, but the Winter Boys, I think, was senior, Jared and Kendall, and that group of boys was senior, Logan Giefer and all them, and we went up there, and they were notorious for the Bruna boys. I don't know, that name is notorious, and they got 2 or 3 on the roster again this year. As a kickoff by Murillo is going to be taken by Riffle, I believe, and Carlson misses a tackle. Riffle up to the 30 or 25-yard line and brought down there by a host of Indians.
Espinoza on the return for the Cougars.
But the last time the Indians went up there, they didn't fare so well at Hanover. Hanover undefeated on the year, and if you follow 8-man football, they have just been a powerhouse year after year in 8-man football.
That's funny you mentioned bringing up bad memories. I talked to Kendall Winter the other night on Halloween. His kids were trick-or-treating with mine, and he mentioned that our next game might be at Hanover, and he kind of shuddered a little bit. I don't think he liked the memory of that game.
That's small town football for you. The Brunas, I believe at that time there was like 4 or 5 of them on the roster, and there's a bunch of them now. Here's that set where there's 3 receivers to the right, 3 to the left, 4 center. Espinoza, no, it's not Espinoza. It's Riffle in the shotgun by himself. Espinoza is wide to the right. And this time, Riffle's going to keep it. Oh, Bradshaw misses the tackle. He's going to run Dent and, somebody good hard run, though. Bradshaw and Dent and Carlson in on that tackle, but it's a good 8-yard gain on first down. A good hard run by number 22, Riffle.
You had to expect at some point they were going to have a quarterback run out of that formation. It's just I think as a defender, you can't believe that they're going to run it, with one blocker in front of him. They sure did, and again, an 8-yard gain. So spreading folks out like that just makes the defense think, and it kind of gets them off their game a little bit.
Second down and 2 from their own 32 is center. Back to Espinoza in the pistol. He's going to roll to his right, looking to pass across the middle. Chased by Albertini, throws it late, incomplete. And nobody out there. And Coach Watcher got his arms in the air, but I don't think there is such thing as outside of the pocket in 8-man football, but he just threw that to the ground. There wasn't nobody, a receiver within 15 yards, but it was probably a little bit short because Albertini had his arms draped around him. He was lucky to get that pass off. So it's going to bring up a third down and 2 for the Indian defense, center at their own 32.
Yeah, one more second there. I think Adam would have had close to a strip sack because he was reaching back to throw the ball, and Adam was right on top of him. So I think you're right. I think that's probably the biggest reason that pass was so short.
I formation, Riffle at fullback. Here's a handoff to Riffle off the left side. And boy, he pulls his way. Dent got a load full that time. You don't see that very often. It's going to be good for a first down for center. Good hard run by number 22, Riffle, as he's come out with a little advantage to start this third quarter. And it's first and 10 as they are short of the 40-yard line. It'll be first and 10 for center from their own 39-yard line. Split back formation. Espinoza up under center. And it's going to be a handoff. A lot of running room by number 29. Haney pushes him out of bounds about the 24-yard line. So Voda with the carries.
That one's going to be coming back down. Yeah, Easton Dent was held terribly. so much so we couldn't even get anything. He just put his arms up, showing the ref, look, he's got hold of me terribly. So, yeah, that one was an obvious one. So that'll be coming back.
Back at the 34-yard line. So that'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It negates a good run by Svoboda. No wonder he had a lot of running room around that left side, as Dent was held badly on the play, as Seth said. So it'll be first down and 12 for center. So that negates a good first down run by Svoboda.
Yeah, and it's not always the case that a hold springs somebody free, but that one definitely was. Easton would have been right over there on the outside had he not been getting held.
First and 12 from their own 36-yard line. Svoboda there's a jump by center by the tight end. It was Espinoza up under center. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, so that'll be first down and 17, as that'll back them up to their 30, back them back to their 31-yard line. So back-to-back penalties is trying to put a damper on this drive by center. They running the ball hard, coming on their first possession of the second half. First down and 17, ball spotted at their own 31, 9:59 left to go in the third quarter. Indians lead 58-20. Split back formation. Espinoza up under center. He's going to hand it off to Svoboda off the left-hand side. He's going to have a good 4 or 5 yard gain. It'll be second down and 13 for the Cougars, as he gets across the 35 up to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, again, like I said, Dan, this drive kind of started out the way center started out the beginning of the game. Just good, hard, physical run. And like I said, Riffle's a load. When he puts his head down, it's he's going to get some yards. So, again, the Indians just got to make contact at the line of scrimmage and let the linebackers come up and help.
Split back formation. Espinoza up under center. He bumps in to Riffle. And Riffle running hard off that left side. Ankle tackle by Albertini. And Dent and Carlson all come up on him. He's going to gain about 3. It's going to bring up a third down and 10 for the Cougars from midfield. Now the ball up to the 40-yard line.
4 yards on the play, bring up third down and 9.
Riffle, 6 foot, 205-pound junior. He's a heck of a load in the backfield for the Cougars.
Hard runner, yeah.
Third down and just a little under 10 yards to go. Split back formation for the Cougars. Back to pass. Espinoza now is going to keep it right side. He's got some running room. Breaks a couple tackles. Now Keaton Kennedy trying to bring him down, and he does, but not until he has a good 20-yard run down to the Indian 20-yard line. He is pretty fast and slick, as Kennedy saved a touchdown. It's going to be first and 10 for the Cougars from their own 20.
Looks like about the 15.
Looks like about the 16-yard line. Hard to see the stripes down on the far end of the field. A little fake pitch, misdirection. Indians unable to contain. Espinoza on the third down and 10, and he gains clear down to the Indians' 16-yard line. So the Indians' defense could have to stiffen up here. 2 wide receivers to the right and 2 to the left. And I don't know why you're running the football all over somebody. You go into this formation, but I'll let the coach do that. And here comes a timeout by center. So with that timeout, we'll go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. Dan Bitt alongside Seth Bourne stepping in, and I really appreciate Seth stepping in for Mike. It's going to be first and 10 for center from the Indians' 16-yard line. 8:14 left to go in the third quarter. Indians lead 58-20. So center uses one of their timeouts here on first and 10 at the Indian 16. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Espinoza in the pistol as they wait for all the rest to get set. Last time Riffle went in motion from right to left. Let's see if he does again. Nope. Yes, he does, from left to right this time. Espinoza now is going to run the football right up the middle, going hard and into the end zone touchdown as they spread the Indians out, and it worked. And the Cougars score and cut to lead to 58-26 with 8:10 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Dan, like I say, you know you're going to see that's, again, out of that spread formation, hadn't seen the quarterback run, and boy, you see why they did it. Espinoza is a very, very quick individual.
Pinning the extra point, Indians lead 58-26. lead by 32 with 8:10 left to go here in the third quarter. Now Espinosa splits wide to the right with two other receivers, 3 to the right, 3 to the left. Riffle is the only one in the pistol.
I look for a quarterback run here.
Here comes the snap, and it is. Riffle's going to run it right up the gut, and he's going to get into the end zone. Extra point is good for the Cougars. So 58-28, 30-point lead for the Indians with 8:10 left to go in the third. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. Let's St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Kicking off for the Cougars, number 25, Xavier Espinosa. Back to receive for the Indians, Adam Albertini.
Welcome back to St. Paul. 8:10 left to go in the third. Ball's loose on the ground. Haney reels it up on the kickoff by Espinosa, and it's going to be recovered for the Indians at the 35-yard line. It's a great field position by the Indians. 1st and 10 from their own 35 off the Espinosa touchdown and a Riffle extra point. Cuts the lead to 58-28, 30-point lead for the Indians. 8:08 left to go here in the third quarter.
Now looking back kind of at some of the stuff I had written down there, the Indians have only had one drive that started further back than their 30. So, again, just got to keep taking advantage of this great field position they're giving us.
Albertini in the pistol, Kennedy to his left. Albertini's going to keep it on the left-hand side, and he's going to be cut down from behind.
Adam Albertini on the carry.
And it's going to be a short gain by Albertini, gain of 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Give him a yard. Let's call it 2nd down and 9. Ball up to the 36-yard line. Still in the Indians' territory. 2nd down and call it 8 from the Indian 37-yard line. I formation this time. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Look for a need to go on a good hard count here. Albertini's going to keep it, run the option, pitches it to Kennedy. He's got some run room, got Carlson in front of him, cuts back to the center. He's going to be good for a 1st down as he's ripped down at the 32-yard line. Good hard run on the option by Keaton Kennedy. And it's going to be a 1st down for the Indians around that left-hand side down into Cougar territory at the 31-yard line.
Adam did an excellent job of running that option that time. Again, they've got to respect him turning upfield to run, and he waited till the last second, pitched it out. Perfect 10-yard option play right there. That's as good as you can see it done. 1st and 10 for the Indians at the Cougar 31. I formation again. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. Here comes the snap. Hand off to Kennedy. Bottled up the line of scrimmage. Spins away from one. Hit hard after he's going to get advanced yardage for about a yard as Kennedy spun his back. And number 34 come up and put a pretty good lick on him. And that is Narabout, a 6'1", 250-pound senior. Good-looking football player there, playing defensive end, come from the opposite side. I'm going to give him a gain of 2 down to the 30, 2nd down and 8 for the Indians. And 6:41 left to go in the third. Indians lead 58-28, 30-point lead here in this third quarter. That clock keeps on ticking, so the Indians, I can pretty much assure you, they're going to keep it on the ground, keep that clock running. Long, methodical drive.
Sorry, Seth. Pitch to Kennedy around the left-hand side. Carlson go with the block. Kennedy back towards the middle. He's going to have a gain of about 2 as he's hit hard again. Kennedy now down on the play as a stop play. And it's going to be 3rd down and call it 6 for the Indians as Kennedy still on the ground. So with that, we're going to take an injury timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back with this injury timeout. Keaton Kennedy still on the ground on the far side, hit hard. As Seth said, he got spun to the ground. It looked like he may have took a knee to the helmet region. We hope he's okay and moving around over there real good. It's going to be third down and call it 5, call it 6 for the Indians when they come out of this injury timeout as Keaton comes up, sits up now. So a good sign for the Indians here. Keaton banged around a little this year. He's had left shoulder issue on and off. That hasn't shown any tonight, but that time hit hard on back-to-back runs by Kennedy.
Yeah, again, he's just such a tough runner. Just hard to bring down, and he just fights for every last yard. That time he was almost kind of backing into the defender, just fighting for more yards, and he kind of took a shot that he didn't see coming, and then another player run beside him, I think, caught him maybe with a knee to the helmet, it looked like. But good to see him up, walking off the field again. When you see someone kind of get hit in the head like that, it sure makes you worry a little bit, but it looks like he's walking off under his own power, which is a great sign.
I want to give Mr. Jackanow a lot of props. He very little glory for what he does, but that takes real good of the Indians' kids and any injured person. 6:10 left to go in the third. Indians lead 58-28. It's going to be a big third down and 5 for the Indian offense down at the center, 27.5-yard line. So they're going to bring Murillo back into the game, and he will go up to a guard position. Dent comes back into the backfield with Carlson along with Albertini, and a big third down and 5.5 yards for the Indians here in center territory. In the pistol is Albertini. Set to his left is Carlson. To the right is Dent. Here comes the snap. Good hard snap count. He's going to keep it around the right-hand side, trying to find some room. He's going to be wrapped up from behind, and he's going to lose 2 or 3 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a big 4th down and 8 for the Indians. Back at the 30-yard line. So a big 4th down and 9 for the Indians offense here in center's territory at the 30.
Yeah, when you see one of your teammates go down injured, it kind of shakes folks up a little bit. The Indians got to shake that off, get their nose back down to the grindstone. It's changing up the backfield a little bit. Easton Dent's not a total rookie of the backfield. He's been there a few times this season. So, again, another bruiser who's going to be willing to do that dirty work blocking for Adam. 4th down and 8 for the Indians from the 30. This time they're going to go in the I formation. Albertini up under center. Dent at fullback. Carlson, it's going to be a play-action pass. Albertini being chased, throws it late, deep for Haney, and over the head of everybody. Falls incomplete. So that's going to be a turnover on downs on the Indians. First time tonight, Indians offense has glitched a little bit. It'll be 1st and 10 for center from their own 30. And a little momentum going center's way here off that score. Both teams scored the first possession of the second half. 58-38, Indians with a 30-point lead with 4:56 left to go here in the third quarter. You know, Dan, I was kind of thinking that same thing. It's almost one of those things you can feel being here at the stadium. Center went down and scored, and then they had a good rallying defensive stand there. You can see they've got the energy. Indians look a little flat. They need to pick that up.
2 to the right, 2 to the left for center. Now motion by Riffle from right to left. Espinoza hands it to Riffle, cuts back towards the center, and he's going to break 2 or 3 tackles. Haney comes from the side. Boy, 4 or 5 Indians had a shot at him for no gain. Instead, it turns into a nice 7-8 yard gain on first down up across the 37-yard line for center.
Yeah, the Indians had it sniffed out perfectly. Like you said, 3 or 4 guys you thought were going to catch him right there at the line of scrimmage or behind it. Again, that speed shows with Riffle there. He can just get out there and make some people miss, and before you know it, he's 8 yards downfield.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right again. This time, slot to the right is Riffle. Espinoza is this now motion from left to right by Svoboda. And he went forward a little bit, no call. Espinoza's going to keep it straight ahead. He's going to be close to a first down as he crosses the 40 into Indian territory. It is going to be enough for a first down. It'll be a 5-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Indian 39-yard line.
And again, here the last several plays have been non-normal, I guess I'll call them, formations. They're using that spread offense to get the Indians kind of spread out one, but just trying to confuse them if they can. And they're running a lot of different plays out of it. Haven't really seen the same play more than once.
Split back formation. Espinoza under center. He's going to hand it off to Riffle coming around this left-hand side. Getting strung out. Hayden Smith knocks him out of bound at the 34-yard line. Going to be a gain of 5 on first down. So first, it'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Cougars as they cross the 35, or right to the 35-yard line of the Indians. 3:45 left to go here in the third, 58-28. Indians up by 30, but center with a little momentum here with the football. has drove the last couple possessions. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for center. Second down and call it 5. Ball at the Indian 35. Espinoza in the pistol. Motion from right to left. Here comes the snap. Right up the middle he goes. Hit hard that time. Gabe Carter hits him hard, but he runs through that tackle. Good hard hit by Carter. Espinoza keeps running hard, and he's going to be close to a center first down. Just a little bit short. It's going to be third down and less than a yard.
Yeah, whenever they're using those spread formations, then they get the defense spread so far out, and then they just shoot as the quarterback catches it, runs as hard as he can. He's almost guaranteed 3-4 yards just because he's got a 3-yard head of steam. With the defense and the linebackers kind of spread out, trying to have to cover some of those split backs. Split
back formation. Espinoza up under center. Handoff this time to Savoda. He's got some run room around that left side. Down the sideline he goes. And did he step out of bounds?
It looked like it.
And he did not step out of bounds. Touchdown center. Hayden Smith had a chance to knock him out of bounds. Couldn't get him down or out of bounds. It's going to be a touchdown for center as they cut into that 30-point Indian leads. And center definitely with momentum here in this third quarter. 3:03 left to go in the third. 58-34, Indians lead.
No, Dan, I was just about to say they were getting away from the power run of Riffle, and then they handed it off to him, and there he goes.
Touchdown center. All important extra points here, as now it is a 24-point lead for the Indians. Espinoza up under center. The lone setback is Svoder. Going to run the option, going to run a little reverse pitch, catch, and it's incomplete, and he was wide open. Thank goodness that trickery didn't work as the pass falls down incomplete. So 24-point lead for the Indians with 3:03 left to go in the third. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. The Indians' lead is 58-34 with 3:03 left to go here in the third quarter off that center touchdown.
The Indians' offense, Dan, that's been so methodical, been so efficient in that first half, hasn't really showed itself here in the third quarter. Indians going to get this kickoff. If it's anything like it's been, they're going to get great field position. They need to march down there and score another touchdown to stop this momentum of center.
Good sign for the Indians. Keaton Kennedy back out on the football field as the Indians get set up here for these short kick as Espinoza is set to kick the ball off again. He's kicked to the left side every time as a left-footed kicker. We'll see what he does here on this possession or on this kickoff for center. Indians lead by 24, 3:03 left to go here in the third. Here comes the center. Oh, now it's to the right side. Bradshaw keeps it down the left sideline. He goes one man to beat, and he stepped out of bounds about the 25-yard line. It's great hands.
Just a great play by Chase there. He, I don't know. That's the first time they've kicked it to the left side of the field, and he did exactly what he should do. He's ready. Caught the ball just like it was passed to him and made a great run down the sideline.
And it was actually. There's been a person standing to the left side of the football every time. I can't catch his number, but he's the one that actually had his back to the Indians, turned around and kicked it with his right foot to the opposite side that time. And Chase Bradshaw caught it on the fly. It probably would have went out of bounds. But either way, great return. Indians at the center, 26. Albertini in the pistol. He's going to run to his right, cuts back up the center. One down, ripped down by the jersey from behind, but not until a 12-yard gain. Good 12-yard gain on first down by Albertini. Gets the ball inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line of center.
There's the offense that you like to see. Adam found some space, got upfield, quick 12 yards. Need to get back up on the ball, get it going again. Don't let him get set here.
Albertini was getting stretched out on the sideline. You know them hammies has got to be tight. He's ran a lot. Slot to the right is Carlson. Set to the right of Albertini is Kennedy. First and 10 for the Indians, 14. Kennedy with the football. Cuts back to the middle, jumps over, man. And there's a flag on the play, 2 flags.
I believe it's going to be a face mask again.
And big number 34, this senior. Holy cow, he's been Kennedy's worst nightmares. And he got about 150 pounds on Keaton. flag at the 10-yard line. Personal foul, face mask. So how many is that tonight? Like 4 or 5.
That's at least the 4th face mask.
And that personal foul, face mask, a 15-yard penalty, but it's half the distance to the goal line. Should be automatic first down.
We didn't get it on the one that
it
must not be an automatic first down.
It is first and less than a yard off the penalty, as it's half the distance to the goal. Big number 34 comes out of the game for center.
So again, this is real important. Again, the Indians inside the 5, protect the ball, no penalties, punch it in the end zone. Let's get the lead back up.
Indians come up to the line of scrimmage, first and less than a yard for the Indians. Split back formation, Carlson and Kennedy behind Albertini. It's going to be Colin Carlson, right? No, it's going to be Albertini. Keeps it. He faked me out. Into the end zone he goes as Easton Dent with a great block that time.
Excellent play. Like you said, that Adam does a great job with that option, both on the belly option fake up the middle, because both you and I think, both thought he handed that ball off. And I believe most of the defense did too, and here he comes around the end, scored with ease.
Carlson would have been in there also as he went up the middle off that right side with a head of steam. I thought he had the football. Albertini kept it, and Easton Dent, well, man, if you've seen it on the live stream, he really laid the wood to number 22, Riffle. So pinning the extra point, the Indians with a little momentum back answer that center momentum, best thing they could do. And the pistol is Albertini, set to his left is Carlson. He's going to run it to the left-hand side, back to the middle. Extra point is good. And points are important. 66-34 with 2:02 left to go here in the third quarter. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football, Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. Danville alongside Seth Bourne. 66-34. Indians answer the center's momentum and quiets them a little bit on a Adam Albertini touchdown. Good drive put together by the Indians.
Yeah, like we talked about, Dan, that drive right there was very, very, very important, that the Indians go down and score a touchdown and kind of stop some of that momentum that center built there to start the second half.
Murillo tees the football up. 2:02 left to go in the third. Indians take that lead back up 66-34. So back up to a 32-point lead for the Indians. Murillo with the ball teed up at his own 30. Let's see if he tries to keep it out of Espinosa's hands. This time it's a squib kick off the left side. Going to be taken by the up back. He falls at the 25. So really pretty good. It's number 7 taken by the up back at the 25-yard line. Cougar 25-yard line. So not too shabby for the Indians kicking team by Murillo and the Indians kicking team. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars from their own 25. Indians has really done a good job on defense that first half, but the last few drives, center with a lot of momentum on offense, able to move the ball against this stingy Indian defense.
Really been doing a lot of different things offensively to get those yards.
Espinosa up under center, split back formation, back to pass on the play action. He's going to throw a screen pass to the Riffle off to the left and hit hard. Ball's loose and hit hard by Dent again. Dent is Riffle's worst nightmare, because that was a screen pass to the left of Riffle. He caught it, but Dent really laid the lumber to him, knocked the ball loose. Luckily, there was a Cougar there to jump on that football, and that has the Indians defense fired up.
Just a great play by Easton. It's one of those ones you live for as a linebacker. He could see it from a mile away, and he just let the ball get there and just laid the wood. Great hit by Easton Dent. Like you said, that's what you need to see out of the Indians. They're excited now. Look for them to swarm. And one thing about it, though, after a hit like that, you got to make sure you stay home. Don't give up something crazy here.
2 to the right, 2 to the left for center. Espinosa stands back at his own 20. And here comes motion by Riffle, and Espinosa's going to keep it off the right-hand side. It has some running room towards the sideline. Going to be drug out of bounds. Crosses up to the 29-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 for center. At the ball spotted at the 29. They need to get across the 30 for a 1st down.
And with where we're at in the game and where the score is at 66-34 with a minute and 30 left in the third quarter, you got to figure center's thinking that they're going to at least have 2 downs here to get this first down. So the Indians got to be aware they're not necessarily going for the whole thing right now.
Third down and call it 5. Split back formation. Espinoza under center. Here comes the snap. It's going to be Riffle off the left-hand side. No, it's Savoda, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds short of the first down. So a big 4th down coming up for center. We assume they'll go for it. Still in their own territory at the 34-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and less than a yard. 4th down and a yard for center. Actually about a yard and a half for center to go for a first down. So a big 4th down and a yard and a half. Seth, I'm going to call this one. They're going to spread the Indians out right up the middle. 2 to the left, 2 to the right.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if Espinoza don't keep this right up the middle, so the Indians defense need to put a hat right on Espinoza. Now he's going to come up under center. As he's going to run the quarterback sneak, and he does right off the left side. The Indians should have figured that out. As he come up under center, and Coach Watrick not happy as he was hollering at the Indians defense wanting someone to go back towards the middle. It'll be a 1st and 10 for center. Ball spotted at their own 32.5-yard line.
I could hear Coach Watrick say pretty clearly, you knew what they were going to do. Dan, you called it from up here. I think Coach Watrick knew what was going to happen. It's tough when you got, you got 3 blockers, 3 defenders. It's hard to stop for that 2 yards whenever you've got the rest of the defense split out to the sides, because you got to respect the guys outside, because if you don't, all he's got to do is do a little pop pass and they're gone. 3
to the right, 3 to the left. Riffle is in the pistol all by himself. Here comes the snap. Riffle's going to throw a little screen pass off to the left. Savoda, he's going to be, boy, I thought he stepped out of bounds, but I guess not. Knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line, so a couple-yard gain on the play as they stop the clock. 30 seconds left to go here into third. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for center at their own 39-yard line. Let's call it 2nd down and 9 for center. With 30 seconds left to go into third, Indians lead 66-34.
Yeah, really starting to do a lot of things out of all these spread formations, which, Dan, I think we kind of knew they were going to try to do. Again, here we go with trips to both sides.
3 to the right, 3 to the left. Riffle in the pistol by himself. Here's the snap. Bad snap. Down on the ground. Now he picks it up. Being chased by Gib Carter. And he's ripped down by the jersey by Carter as he hangs on by the fingernails on Riffle. Rips him down by the jersey. And it's going to be a loss of 4 on the play. Good play by Gib Carter getting in there from that nose guard spot.
Excellent play. You love to see it. What the Indians are doing whenever they're doing trips to both sides, they're putting 2 guys over the ball, sending one so that the center's got to block somebody, and the other's kind of staying home. And Gib just blew past the center right there and got in the backfield and got the sack. Great play.
3rd down and 13, timeout center. Indians lead 60. Oh, that's the end of the third quarter. Excuse me. That's the end of the third quarter. Indians lead 66-34. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back. 3rd down and 13. Start the fourth quarter for center. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Now motion from left to right by Riffle. Hand off to Riffle. Double reverse again to Savoda. This time the Indians got him corralled for about a 3-yard gain. That's one of the plays that center had success on in the first half and scored a touchdown. It'll be 4th down and 11 from their own 37-yard line. So a big 4th down play coming up for the Indians defense. 4th and 11 for center. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Indians lead 66-34.
Indians did a great job staying home there. They're going to have to do it again here. Hard to tell what you'll see on a 4th and 12.
It's going to be a play action to the tight end, I believe, and it is. He releases off the left, so back to pass. It's going to be incomplete. Another good hard hit. That time by Keaton Kennedy, and that'll be a turnover on downs on center. Gives the football back to the Indians. 1st and 10 in center territory at their 37-yard line.
Great job by the Indians defense. They played that perfectly. Probably could have had a sack if they'd went hard at it, but they stayed home, just made sure to keep everything in front of them. Great defensive play there, and very, very timely here. Now they've flipped the field, got it in center territory to start this drive.
I formation, Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. 1st and 10 for the Indians from the center's 37. Hand off to Kennedy, right side, nice hole, cuts back to center and tripped down by center. It's going to be a good 3-4 yard gain on 1st down by Kennedy. Let's give him a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as the ball crossed the center 35 down to the 34-yard line. 66-34, the Indians trying to advance and become regional champs and advance to the sectionals, which is 8 teams left. I formation again. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. This time Albertini's going to keep it off the left side. Pitches it to Kennedy late, and the ball's loose on the ground, still loose. I think Kennedy finally reels it in, and it's going to be no gain on the play. That was a dangerous pitch by Albertini. Kennedy, it was on his right shoulder, extended his hand, almost reeled it in. Ended up on the ground, but he finally jumped on it. It'll be a big 3rd down and 7 for the Indians.
Yeah, that's one of those he might have held just a second longer than he should have. And sometimes it may seem trivial, but pitching it with your left hand is different than pitching it with your right hand when you're right-handed. So just a little offline, lucky to corral it back.
In the pistol is Albertini. Riffle again, jumping that snap count, got in there quick. Albertini's going to keep it. He's going to have a 1st down and runs towards the right sideline. Ripped down by the back of the jersey. There's a flag, and there's a twice. Has been in horse collar, so the personal fouls on centers really rack it up. As that is going to, no, it's going to be, yeah, it is going to be a horse collar tackle against center. Personal foul, horse collar, as Albertini was jerked down from behind. That scares you because as a runner, that can result in leg injuries from behind a lot when you get that horse collar tackle.
Yeah, that's the reason it's a penalty. When you pull somebody back that's moving one way and you pull them backwards on top of their legs, that's a real easy way to get a knee injury. So, again, you hate seeing it happen like that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say they're playing dirty, but when you got 5 personal foul face masks, and we've seen the horse collar probably 4 times, only called once, a lot of it, I think, really ends up being the frustration with not being able to corral Adam Albertini. So, again, that's a good place to be as an offense when you got the defense frustrated like that.
1st and goal with the penalty. The Indians at the 9-yard line of center. Albertini in the pistol again. This time he's going to keep it off the left side. Tries to get to the outside, back towards the middle. He's going to be bottled up, hit hard. Still running hard. He's going to be close to the 5 to the 4-yard line, I believe. Good lead blocking by the Indians. A host of Cougars in on that tackle, but Albertini still running hard. 2nd down and goal from the 4. It's not a penalty on a horse collar if you just have a hold of the jersey, but when you get a hold of the nape of the neck or the shoulder pad from behind at the neck area, that is when they call that horse collar tackle. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line for the Indians. I formation, Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. 9:02 left to go here in the ball game. Indians lead 66-34. Here's the snap. Hand off to Kennedy, left side, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. 4-yard dive by the Indians off the left-hand side of the line. 8:53 left to go in the game. And this is 72-34. The Indians lead.
Boy, Dan, we've been watching all night. There's been a lot of scoring, but when you look up at the scoreboard and you see 72-34, it kind of thinks, holy cow, that has been happening, hasn't it?
That's a lot of offense by both teams. Indians really defense played well in the first half. Had a little glitch in that 3rd quarter, played well the last series, but center with a little momentum there in that 3rd quarter had this game down to less than 30 points, 24-point lead for the Indians, and that's going to be Carlson right into the end zone. Extra point is good, 74-34, Indians up by 40. 8:53 left to go in the game. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here at St. Paul. St. Paul leads 74-34 over Center here with 8:53 left to go in the game. And an offensive game both ways, especially by the Indians' offense here, Seth, in this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the Indians on offense have been very impressive. And like you say, the score is 34, so that might make you think the defense has given up a lot, but they're really not. Again, two of those just coming on real big plays, kickoff, return, and a real long screen pass, like I said.
Murillo with the ball teed up. He kicks it deep. Espinoza going to field it back at his own 5. Starts up the left-hand side, taking his time, waiting for blockers. Dodges one man and tackled from behind. Good tackle from behind by Hayden Smith. Comes up off the pile. As good pursuit as Espinoza is waiting for a blocker, and Smith come up from behind and makes that tackle. It'll be 1st and 10 for Center at their 27-yard line.
It looked like Center almost trying to bait us into kicking it deep there. He must be some kind of returner. That must be quite a weapon, because, again, he kind of snuck up like he wasn't going to go back, and then as soon as he kicked it, ran back and got the ball. So, but, again, some of the best field position for the defense so far tonight.
Split back formation, and this time it's going to be a handoff up the middle to Riffle, and he breaks a couple tackles. Colin Carlson ankle tackles him from behind and saves a touchdown by Center as he Riffle off that left-hand side of the line gets it clear down to the Indian 20-yard line. Great run by Riffle off that. It looked to be bottled up to the line of scrimmage, starting at their own 27. Broke a tackle, got down the sideline. Kennedy missed him, and Colin Carlson really had to dive at his ankles and just tripped him up from behind. It'll be 1st and 10 for Center at the Indian 20. Espinoza comes up under center, split back formation. And it's going to be a hand. This time, Espinoza's going to keep it up the middle, and he puts a move on Kennedy, and it's going to be a touchdown for Center. This is a track meet. 8:18 left to go in the game, 74-40. As the Indians defense starting to give up some points. As you know, conditioning is probably an issue that ran about 1,000 yards between the two teams. And pending the extra point here, Center trying to dig back into this ball game with 8:18 left to go in the game. 3 receivers to the right, 3 to the left. Riffle is the lone set. And the pistol, alone by the center. He's going to keep it. He's going to try the left-hand side. Puts his shoulder pad down, driving hard, spins away, and he's into the end zone. Extra point is good. So 74-42 is the score. 8:18 left to go in the game. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, and the score is, yes, folks, 74-42. The Indians lead, and this happens in 8-man football on occasion.
I didn't get to check the line before the game, Dan, but did you know what the over-under was? Was it 147? I don't know.
I have no idea what the over and under was, but I really didn't see. Honestly, I thought the Indians could come out of here with a victory here tonight, and I've been impressed with their defense, but they've really come to life. You really have. The Indians' defense, it just shows how good they played in the first half. I didn't notice the speed by Espinoza and Riffle as much in the first half, but you really noticed it, and you know why the Indians was kicking away from Espinoza. They are fast. And it's taken by the up back Carlson on his knees at the 32-yard line. So Center again shortened the field for the Indians, keeping it away from Albertini. So a lot of respect shown to him, as well as Coach Wattrick showing respect to Espinoza, keeping it away from him, having Murillo squib kick down the center of the field.
Yeah, like you said, Espinoza and Svoboda, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. One wears 25, one wears 29. It's almost hard to tell the difference between the two when they're on the field. Both kind of tall and lanky and very, very fast.
And Riffle, number 22, also Very speedy in the backfield. Albertini up under center, split back formation. Carlson and Kennedy back there. Here comes the snap. He's going to roll back to pass. He's going to throw off the left-hand side over Haney's head and falls incomplete. It'll be second down for Indians. 8:12 left to go in the game. 74-42, Indians lead. Don't really mind that call. You want to see the clock keep running, but the Indians want to show a little change-up coming out of that play action. Really haven't thrown the ball very much. Good defense by the Cougars. Gardner receivers coming out for the Indians.
Like I said, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword there. It's good in that it stretches the defense because they've been sitting on the run. It's bad in that the clock stops on the incomplete pass.
Split back formation. Albertini comes up under center, 2nd and 10, as the Cougars hug up to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be the option. Carlson's going to keep it. He's ridden down hard after a couple-yard gain. It'll be a big 3rd down and 8 for the Indians. Ball going to be spotted at their own 34.5-yard line. So call it 3rd and 8. Under 8 minutes left to go in the game. 74-42, Indians lead.
And again, a nice methodical drive here by the Indians would be great. Really, any drive that ends up in a score is going to be great for the Indians, but as much time as they can make that clock tick away, the better.
3rd down and 8, split back formation. Carlson to the left, Kennedy to the right. It's going to be Kennedy off the left side. He's got some running room. He's got a chance for 1st down and more, and he's jerked out of bounds by the shoulder pad, by the jersey, but not until he had enough for a 1st down. Good hard run by Keaton Kennedy. His jersey nearly ripped off of him. Good play call by the Indians as they fixed it to Carlson one direction, gives it to Kennedy opposite. And that little crossbuckler misdirection worked well for the Indians. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians at the center, 32-yard line.
Yeah, excellent play call there. The Indians kind of now starting to work off a little bit of some of their play action stuff. A lot of times on that one, Adams keeping the ball, but that time he gave it, and I don't think the Cougars were expecting that.
In the pistol is Albertini. Slot to the right is Carlson. Here comes that jumping that snap by Riffle. Albertini keeps it, gets past him. Now there's a flag on the play as Albertini's going to get into the end zone, but there's a flag back at the 34-yard line, and that's bound to be a hold against the Indians. And it is. It's going to negate a touchdown run for the Indians, which will make it 1st and long. It's going to make it 1st and 21 as they mark up from the spot. The flag is thrown at the 34, so that's going to back the Indians back up on their side of the football.
Yeah, like I said, again, back to that disciplined football we talked about, protecting the ball and keeping away from the penalties. Again, it's tough because, like you said, right at the start of that play, they were doing that jump the snap thing. So sometimes when they're coming with a head of steam, that's all you can do to make sure he doesn't get back to the quarterback is grab a hold of him a little bit. A lot of times you're going to get away from it there on the interior part of the line. Just didn't that time.
1st and 10, 1st and 10, 1st and 21 for the Indians back in their own territory at their own 31.5-yard line. Albertini in the pistol. Slot left is Carlson. Slot right is Easton Dent. 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Albertini's going to keep it. He's going to be wrapped up after a short gain, a gain of 1 or 2. It'll be 2nd down and long. 2nd down and 20 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the Indian 35-yard line.
Again, keeping the ball on the ground, the clock continues to tick away. 6:47 now left in the game. With the Indians with a hefty lead there, I look to see they're going to keep it on the ground, I'm guessing, Dan.
Indians take their time coming into the huddle. Want to burn this clock up on the big 2nd down and 20. Split back format. This time, Albertini in the pistol. To his right and left is Dent and Carlson. Here comes the snap. Albertini's going to keep it off the right side. Got him by the jersey, going to lean forward. He's going to have another 7-8 yards as he leans forward. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 14 or 15 for the Indians. Ball back into center territory.
Dan, I don't think I've seen so many jersey tackles in all my life. The Indians, I hope we got room in the budget for some new jerseys after tonight. I'm surprised if some of them aren't ripped up a little bit.
3rd down and let's call it 15 for the Indians at the center, 37-yard line. See what Coach Watrick dials up here on a 3rd and long. Going to be same formation. Dent to the right, Carlson to the left, Albertini in the pistol. 5:48 left to go in the game. Albertini's going to keep it off the left-hand side. Cuts back up the middle, now to the right. He's got some room. 1st down and more, and he's knocked out of bounds, but not until Adam Albertini. About the same time you think he's slowing down, he just keeps right on rolling.
And just an excellent cutback. That shows something we hadn't really talked about is Adams' field vision. The play was coming to the left, and he could see that everybody was pursuing, so he just made one cutback, went straight back to the other side of the field to the sideline, and picked up a nice gain of about 30.
Down to the center 15-yard line. First and 10 for the Indians. From their 15, Albertini's got to be well over 300 yards on the ground. What a night by him. 5:38 left to go in the game, 74-42. Indians lead. I formation, Dent at fullback, Carlson at tailback. Carlson with the football off the left side, trying to get to the outside. He's got some running room. He's going to be grabbed by the jersey again and rid out of bounds. And there's another flag on center as Espinoza had Carlson by the back of the shoulder pads or jersey. See if they call another horse collar.
Sure looked like it. I mean, that's all it can be right there, right?
As he was rid out of bounds as the side judge now comes talk to the umpire. He's not turned around and make the signal yet. Now he is. Personal foul. Horse collar on center.
Personal foul call against the Cougars. Horse collar.
I'm not exaggerating, folks. Between the face mask and horse collars, I think that's the 6th personal foul on center. First and goal for the Indians inside their own 5. In the pistol is Albertini. To his right is Dent. To his left is Carlson. All 8 players for center up in the box. Ooh, there's almost a jump by somebody. It is a jump on somebody. Like it was offsides or false start. I'm not sure. As center jumped, but I'm not sure if, and it was a false start on the Indians. And that's going to be a 5-yard penalty. It's going to make it first and goal from the from the center 9-yard line.
Again, Dan, that's second time tonight inside the 5-yard line we've had a false start penalty. Those are those. Again, a lot of times you end up scoring when you're that close to the red zone, but it's yards you don't want to give up when you're that close to the goal line.
Ball at the 9, first and goal for at the center 9 for the Indians. 5:29 left to go in the game, 74-42. Albertini in the pistol, Dent to his right, Carlson to his left. Here comes the snap. Albertini to the right side, looking for a block. Cuts back to center, now towards the pylon. Touchdown, Indians. 9-yard touchdown run. Albertini being very patient, following Carlson and Dent, just reading those blocks just perfectly. And he gets into the end zone, and it is 80-42. Indians lead by 38. Pending the extra point here. We'll try to get you some scores throughout, at least that have to do with the Indians possibly advancing here as this game winds down here. Albertini in the pistol. To his right is Dent. To his left is Carlson. Albertini's going to keep it off the left-hand side. Stretches for the end zone. Pitches it late. And tries to throw it to Haney underhanded. I'm not sure he's behind the line of scrimmage, but either way, it was incomplete. Extra point is no good. 80-42 Indians lead. 5:23 left to go in this ball game. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. Let's St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back. Indians lead 80-42. Ball loose on the ground, dribbling towards the sideline. It does dribble out of bounds at about the center 16-yard line. Center will have the option to back the Indians up or take the football right there. At the 25. We'll see what they elect to do. The Indians walking back, Murillo walking back towards the tee, so we assume they will back them up 5 yards and have the Indians re-kick. So the ball goes back to the 25 as Murillo will re-tee the ball back at his own 25. Also notice that somebody for the Indians got to be careful. They was nearly offsides on that kick. 5:23 left to go in the game. Indians lead 80-42 over Center. Murillo with the ball teed up, waiting on the whistle. Here comes the whistle, and here's the kick. Squib kick down the middle again, taken by, nope, it's loose on the ground, and down on the ground is Riffle on the football. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars at their own 30-yard line.
And Dan, with the clock dwindling down and being as far down as they are, I looked up. I think Center's probably going to have to be putting it in the air. Yeah, I definitely think we're going to be seeing a lot of that spread formation stuff.
Indians try to get them a regional trophy here and get to the Elite Eight, we're going to call it. Just after tonight's football games, assuming they're all played tonight, there will just be 8-man 2 teams left. Espinoza in the pistol. He's going to run it to the left side. Now cuts towards the middle, now to the outside. He's bottled up, but he's going to have a nice 5-yard gain on 1st down. Just 4 teams on the east left after tonight, 4 teams on the west left after tonight. Local team, Southern Coffey County, was playing Waverly tonight. Haven't got a score update on them. We wish them all the luck in the world in our own district. As Seth looking for some scores here, we'll try to bring you up to date on all 8-man scores we can.
Old Mikey McCracken is looking out for us here. He just sent me the score of the Frankfurt-Hanover game. I don't know how much time, or I'm sorry, halftime. Hanover 34, Frankfurt 14.
34-14, Hanover leads over Frankfurt. The Indians, if they can win this game, with 4:31 left to go in this game, will advance to the winner of that game.
Thank you, Mike, for that score update.
3rd down and 2 for the Cougars. The ball at the 39-yard line. Big 3rd down and 2 for the Indians defense as Center comes back up to the line of scrimmage. Right at 4 minutes left to go in this game. Indians lead 80-42, split back formation. And that's quarterback sneak. Espinoza, man, he just blew right through there. It's a good thing Albertini grabbed him by the ankles, as that was the old silent count quick snap, as nobody was ready for it. And the center and the quarterback's the only ones that left, and that was good for a 7-yard gain into Indian territory down to the 34-yard line.
Just looked like he was shot out of the rocket. Like I said, Dan took the snap and just took off sprinting forward. I don't think the Indians were quite ready for that to happen.
Looks like Murillo in there at nose guard, giving Gib Carter a break. Well-needed break. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Now Riffle comes in motion, hand off to Riffle, cuts back to the center. Bradshaw had his hands on him but couldn't get him down as Keaton Kennedy, down the sideline and still running as Riffle breaks 3 Indians tackles. Touchdown Center. As, boy, that's poor tackling by the Indians that time. There was 3 different Indians had him, same as knocked out of bounds or wrapped up, and he gets away from all 3 of them and scores down that sideline. So credit Riffle for still running hard late in this game. 3:37 left to go in the game. 80-48 is the score.
Yeah, Dan, like I said, it looked like Bradshaw had him in the backfield. I think he had his hands on him, and he was going to try to get a better grip around his waist because he's such a big load to bring down, and by the time he tried to re-grab him, he was gone.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Espinoza is in the pistol all alone. Here comes the snap. Riffle comes in motion from left to right. This time Albertini jumps the snap, and Espinoza is going to get in the end zone as Albertini misses the tackle that time. And now the score is 80-50, 30-point lead for the Indians. 3:37 left to go in this game. We'll be back. We're giving our sponsors all the commercials they need here tonight, brother.
And once again, well earned. That's good to
we'll
get
go
them
ahead
on
and
the air.
stay here. Stick around for our KW Trucking postgame show as Seth will try to add up some stats quickly at the conclusion of this game. Indians lead by 30, 80-50. I know Coach Watrick's not going to be happy with giving up 50 points. He's especially not going to be happy, late in the game, fatigue, a lot of playing time by 8, 9, 10 players for the Indians. Fatigue comes into a factor and a little loss of focus when you think you have somebody wrapped up, and maybe you slow up a little, maybe whatever the case. I can make all the excuses in the world, but they're just excuses. And that time, that drive showed it as the Indians defenders did not do a good job of tackling.
Yeah, Dan, like you say, I mean, the game's pretty well in hand now for the Indians. It would take a miracle for the Cougars to come back, and I think you kind of hit on the head. They didn't give up by any means, but maybe just a little bit of a loss of focus. Hopefully the offense can come back and answer that score and for sure get some more time ticked off that clock.
Timeout by the Indians on the kickoff return as Coach Watrick trying to give everybody a little bit of time here with 30-37 left to go in the game. Indians lead 80-50. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back here to Miles Field. 3:37 left to go in the game. Indians up by 30, 80-50 over Center. Indians look to try to advance to the sectional round next week, where they will have to travel to either Frankfort or Hanover. And the Indians defense going to have to play a little bit better next week if they want to advance to sub-state. Well, they'd have a good chance to have that game at home if they can advance. But Hanover and Frankfort, both very tough teams. And quite frankly, Seth, when you get to the only 8 teams left, there is no pushovers anymore.
That's right. And just like we're seeing tonight, tough teams all around.
Keaton Kennedy on the return as a center kicks it deep. He's got a lot of running room. He's going to be grabbed by the jersey, ripped out of bounds.
Kennedy on the return down to the 31-yard line.
And he's into the Cougar territory at the 31-yard line. Espinosa is a good football player, Seth, but I don't know that he knows how to make a form tackle, because everybody he's tackled has been either by the back of the shoulder pad or the jersey. He's the one that just tackled Kennedy from behind by the jersey again. And it'll be first and 10 for the Indians at the Cougar 31.
I know that's not something you coach, and like I said, I think it just becomes a matter of have so much trouble getting these strong running backs of the Indians down any other way. Just grab onto anything you can reach. It's just been the jersey tonight that's been doing it.
Kenny Haney comes into the ball game. Split back formation. I formation. Dent at fullback. Carlson at tailback. Here comes the snap. Handoff to Carlson. He's got some running room right side. Tried to get to the outside. He's going to be ridden down from behind, but a good 8-9 yard gain into center territory, as Coach Watrick telling his quarterback Haney to wait until the back judge starts counting before he snaps the ball, because they want this clock to run. Good hard run by Colin Carlson. A gain of 9 on the play. 2nd and 1. Ball spotted at the 23-4 yard line of center.
Yeah, it's a little bit different in some of these smaller schools. There's no play clock that you can see, so you just got to watch for the back judge to start waving his arms on that last 5-second countdown.
Indians now take their time with the line of scrimmage. Haney up under center now, and this time it's going to be a flag on the play. It's going to be a false start, and it is a false start against the Indians. It'll back them up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
That's an odd time for a false start, Dan. Kenny hadn't even gone under center yet. You wonder, I didn't see it, I guess. I kind of wonder what happened there.
Coach Watrick is what Kenny's not used to it. He's not even wanting Kenny to go under center until the count starts happening. Now he's going to have to. It ain't going to matter. Oh, I guess the clock is running, so there he's doing a little bit. Now he gets out under center again, and he's waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting more. And now's the snap. Hand off to Dent. And he's going to be ripped down with no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Indians at the center. 29-yard line, 28.5, 29-yard line. 2:06 left to go in this game. Indians up by 30, 80-50. Quite frankly, just trying to get out of here tonight with a victory so they can move on out of the regional into sectional play.
Right, it's pretty obvious now they're not looking for yards, they're looking for time spent.
Next week game will be played on a Friday night. We don't know what time for sure, but the Indians traveling that far, and believe you me, folks, it is a far piece up to either Frankfort or Hanover. Pitch out to Carlson off the left-hand side. He's going to be slammed down from behind as he tries that left-hand side. Stays in the bound. Clock keeps running. It'll be 4th down for the Indians, as Carlson inside the 30 at the center 29, 4th and 7 for the Indians. 80-50 left to go in the game. 80-50 is the score. 1:15 left to go in the game. It looks like the Indians will probably travel up to Hanover. Hanover with a pretty good lead over Frankfort at halftime. as that game apparently started at 7 o'clock. I formation, Dent at fullback, Carlson at tailback. Haney waiting for the back judge to count. Now the count's on. He's up under center. Going to hand off to Carlson. Tries to get to outside, and he's going to be ridden down short of the first down. Center defense still playing hard. Carlson still running hard. It will be a turnover on downs by the Indians. It'll be Cougar football from their own 29-yard line with 51 seconds left to go in the game. First and 10 for the Cougars from their own 29-yard line as the Indians defense try to finish off the last 51 seconds of the game here. They lead 80-50, up by 30. And it will be next Friday night, the ball game. Stay tuned. Check on 105.5 this week, Larry, or 95.3, all the sister stations. Larry will be giving all the area scores. He'll keep you up to date for sure on what time the Indians kick off. Handoff up the middle by Riffle. Riffle with the football running hard, left-hand side, tackled inbounds. Center with a couple timeouts. I don't know that they'll choose to use any with under 50 seconds left to go. Now under 40. It'll be second down and 5 for Center from their own 35-yard line. 30 seconds left to go in the game. Indians trying to secure a regional championship here with a 80-50 lead, split back formation. And this time, Espinoza is going to keep it up the middle, spins away from a couple, and the Indians finally bring him down inbounds. Brought down there by Adam Albertini and Kennedy. They stop the clock to move the chains. 17 seconds left to go. As soon as the chains get set, they will restart the clock. And they are going to go ahead and restart it. It's first and 10 for the Cougars at the Indians 35 as Coach Watrick backs the secondary up. Back to pass is Espinoza. Now he's going to run it. Gets around Dent. Now Albertini with a good hard hit on Espinoza, and they're going to stop the clock, and that's the ball game, folks. St. Paul comes out of here victorious 80-50 over the Center Cougars on a great football game put together by the St. Paul Indians. We'll be back with our KW Trucking postgame show after this 2-minute timeout. You listen to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Again, St. Paul will most likely travel to Hanover or Frankfurt next weekend.
Thanks for listening on the live stream. We'll make sure we get up and running earlier for you all folks next week. Final score 80-50, Indians win.